alive.
We should all have knives right next to us. Shiny.
How about a bayonet? Does that count?
No.
More. That's like more than a knife. It's like a knife plus.
All right there.
I've got to get off of Charpoo FPV's channel. Sorry to get sick to my stomach. Can only take so much for a first-person view.
You can butter some toast with that, Dana.
Yes, I could.
Well, if he had saved his Cosmoline, he could have.
Of course, Cosmoline is like butter.
It's super tasty.
So if he's ever attacked by a bagel, he's prepared.
Yes, the heel of the bayonet does come apart.
So you got that pesky Cosmoline out of the grip there?
Yes, I did.
Oh, Gio, did you check that video out?
Yeah, that was kind of neat. They said it was a hospital in Spain.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. That wasn't one charge, though. That was probably like an afternoon of charging it and putting new batteries in and putting new batteries in and putting new batteries in.
Yeah, he has a raw, uncut version where he crashes a whole bunch.
Oh, he does? He's not just super good?
No, I mean, he ran into netting and rope and branches.
So I saw something, or no, I think Volcano Squad posted something today about there's a volcano happening or something in Hawaii, and somebody sent up a drone to look at it and got in trouble. I guess he got tased, but so anyway, it's good. It turns out you're not allowed to fly drones in parks, national parks. So that made me wonder: are there any drone footage things of what's going on in Baltimore, like some actual individuals that went out, as opposed to like the TV telling us what they want to tell us?
I've only seen helicopter footage so far, no drone footage, which would be great.
You would think that it'd be fairly safe for like a on-the-spot reporter, an amateur on-the-spot reporter, to just kind of walk up towards a bad situation, throw that drone out, get some actual real footage, and then retrieve his drone and switch batteries.
Well,
I'm pretty
here's
sure
a little.
we'll be doing all of it. The government will have ones that are like walking cameras. Of course, they'll be like with 50 caliber machine guns on them and everything else, but that's just to protect the camera, of course.
I'm shocked that the penalty for flying a drone with a camera is getting tased.
Well, I think the guy was being a jerk, or at least him and the cop got into a thing. I don't think it's like
Now that I agree with.
national park procedure to tase somebody because they have a drone. I think he just happened to get in a fight with that guy because it said something like the cop got a reprimand, right, and the guy got a $1 fine.
That I agree with. You should be able to tase people for being jerks.
Big jerks.
Good thing you're a long ways away.
And I think it should be like a wide range of jerk fetish of offenses. It should be like anything from having 15 items in the 12 item or less aisle up to spitting in your face. So anywhere in that range, you should be able to tase somebody.
Well,
No,
now
you're
hold
kidding,
on
but
a minute, Yankee. You said you weren't going to agree with me on anything.
Oh well, I'm going to start letting you speak first.
Well, you guys are kidding, but I just got done watching this thing on TED Talks on Netflix. There's a group of TED Talks that are being offered as, I don't know, a collection or whatever. So I was digging through them, and there was one that I wasn't going to watch, but then I ended up, how they end and go to the next one. It happened, and I just started watching it, so I kept watching it, and it was the topic was something like police use of non-lethal, except they call it. They said non-lethal. I like to call it less than lethal, but basically tasers. And it was a point of view that the concept of less lethal weapons was that since police have to do certain things, that by giving them a non-lethal option, you're going to give them something that can mean that fewer people will get hurt in interactions with police. So that's sort of the general conception when they started all that. Now that we've got decades, I guess, or a long time at least, of data, they can start looking at that, and she was basically, I think it was she was saying that the number of people that get killed by police officers, like in the the act of doing their jobs or whatever, has remained fairly consistent, and it's very low, but it's remained literally consistent throughout the before the tasers and then after tasers. But if you look at and I forget how she phrased it, but I'm going to have to, I'm just summarizing it as hands-on, like how often cops have to lay hands or deal with somebody. It used to be very, very rarely, and then now it's like insane, and it's like 800 times what it used to be.
Maybe
And the
people were less
concept
likely
is
to.
that it's not just that you give them this non-lethal option and now they have it, so they're going to use it. But I think, if I remember the thing right, and I wasn't paying 100% attention to it, but I think the concept was that back in the day, when there was no concept of a non-lethal alternative, it was just
Billy Club
have the skills to deal with people or kill them.
Yep.
You're never going to kill them, and you still don't kill them. It's just that they had these interpersonal skills or the ability to de-escalate with skills that you just don't have because they don't use them anymore.
That's very true. They've even gone away from those skills in a lot of departments. That's when you see those where you don't see officers on beats anymore. You just see patrol officers in cars because they don't want them dealing with the population, and they've lost those abilities. And then plus, of course, you've also probably got a little bit of the bad guys have figured out, hey, it used to be if I fucked up, I got shot. Now if I get fucked up, I just get shot. Yeah.
Well, not only that, I mean, the cops used to, at least the cops I grew up with before tasers, they, like Yankee was saying, they would go to Billy Club, Nightstick, Slapjack, or just ready to duke it out with you. You don't see cops willing to do that anymore. They'll go to the taser or the gun before they'll get into a physical rough around with somebody these days. You know? I mean, I grew up getting tuned up with a nightstick.
And it still didn't do any
And in
good.
those days, they didn't go report that. Like, I had to go smack this kid because he was being a jerk or something, right? They just was, okay, it was done, and then you were like, you're done, right? Now everything's got to be documented.
Oh, I can tell you a quick little story. I was riding a dirt bike where I shouldn't be, got in a little chase with the cops, and they beat the hell out of me and destroyed the dirt bike and went back to their coffee, and I went home pushing the dirt bike. And then got home and got my ass kicked again for getting beaten by the cops and doing stupid shit. So. But that's kind of like, did anybody see the footage of the mama grabbing her kid up at the riots and slapping the stupid out of him?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was awesome.
That's real parenting. You know, I don't care. You know, nobody's going to bitch about that kid getting a smack to the head and call it
Nobody
abuse.
did either. They didn't say
Nope.
a word. They like called that mom a hero on CNN and stuff like that.
Now, the police-
Obama even brought it up in his speech today.
Yeah, they're like, we wish we had more parents like that out there kicking their kids' ass.
But every other day, they would call that child abuse.
Yes, and that's that craziness of the society we live in today. Because yeah, you're putting this person on a pedestal now for doing something they've always done, but then if you film that any other day, she'd be getting locked up and tased.
Now, I want to add one thing to what G-Web said earlier about non-lethal and less than lethal, and how he doesn't like non-lethal, he likes to say less than lethal. I don't like really either of those. I think we should change it to where we have to say it like lethal, with a question mark at the end. That's what they should have to call tasers.
And if you don't say it with that, like, that tone, then...
Yeah. You got your lethal options, which is your firearm and your nightstick even, and then you got your lethal options, which is your taser and your mace.
Well, I got one more match I could try throwing out here, but it's the big one. All right, so I will. So I was listening to Dennis Prager today. I don't know if you guys know who that is. It's a radio show guy. He's not quite like Rush Limbaugh, but he's a right side, not a left side radio guy. And he posed the question, how many of those rioters were in church on Sunday?
Not many. Not many at all.
No, I
Hell,
thought that would add more
they
flame.
burned down a senior center for the Southern Baptist Church in their own neighborhood.
That
We
kind of
should
thing.
get
It
him
goes along with that mom taking.
We should get them in church
responsibility
more
for a kid.
often. We should get them in church more often. That way they're bombing abortion clinics instead of CVS pharmacies.
Well, I
Well,
hope not.
there are extremists that do that, but I think you're kidding. But there's a lot fewer of those than there are people that are out just being crazy all the goddamn time.
Holy shit, that was a big raccoon. Too bad I don't
You
waste
just say that was a big ragu?
raccoon. I just had
Oh.
a big raccoon pass in front of my house, and I'm thinking, damn, too bad my 22's in the closet, in the gun closet.
Eh. Well, if you're gonna make yourself a raccoon hat,
No, I just don't like vermin.
there's so many around here. I just let them be.
We got 3 that come up to our front porch all the time and eat the dog food.
I don't do that.
You're not worried about like the rabies or anything with that?
There hasn't been a case of raccoon transmitted rabies in Washington State for like 35 years.
But you don't want to be the first, do you?
It's like people were saying about that West Virginia back kind of stuff there. We got to kill these raccoons, they'll transfer rabies. And we looked up when was the last time that rabies had transferred, or raccoons had transferred rabies, and it was like decades.
Yeah. Mm.
I was watching this video where these people were feeding raccoons Doritos, and there was like 1 million raccoons coming out of the woods. It was pretty cool.
Those are Doritos.
Maybe want to not shoot raccoons, but
Maybe.
because they were like kind of cute.
Well, they're clearly criminals
Begging for
because
Doritos.
they're clearly criminals though. Because if you don't have anything to hide, you don't wear a mask.
Right, right. Don't break the law. No, the whole thing with me is just don't get in my garbage. You know? Raccoons and cats, they're fair game when they're feral and they're going for my garbage.
Well, it has to be about 10 years ago now. During the middle of the freaking day, I was actually cleaning out the garage, and I had a raccoon come around the corner, and thankfully I had a shovel in my hand, so I was moving shovels, and came around the corner and started to come right at me, and I just smashed its head in with that freaking shovel.
That's a pleasant story.
Well, raccoons are not out during the day, and normally means that they have rabies.
No, it doesn't, you dumbass.
Yeah, it does.
No, it does not. That is a fallacy. It's an old wise tale. Raccoons are often out in the daytime, especially if food is scarce.
And those damn things are smart. I mean, I ended up having to put locks on my garbage cans because of them stupid things.
Yeah. Well, this one charged right at me, Yankee, so...
That's just because you're so sexy, Quark, and you're about his height.
You look like a fucking marshmallow. That's why.
Well, and you're about its height, so it was thinking it might get some.
Well, he probably smelled like cats too. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go smell what this guy's got all over him.
There you go. Watch that video.
Put this shit on YouTube. I'm putting this shit on YouTube. You got a spicy something?
How did you guys get right to it? I had a damn ad.
It's something I would run away from, but I don't mind watching the video.
Yeah. I am.
Did you guys hear about the vet that got fired for killing a feral cat with a bow and arrow?
I like it when they stand up. They look like people.
Little tiny people. Little furry people.
That's hilarious when the little ones are standing up right in front of them. Like, me. I would take like 3 or 4 home.
Train them.
They were coming right up to her.
How can there be that many raccoons hanging out? What is going on? I thought they were like individuals.
Oh my gosh!
It's crazy.
Look,
That probably is a Dorito commercial.
pick it up. Look.
It'd be funnier if he started eating that guy's toes because he doesn't have shoes on.
What would have been funny is if they'd have knocked her down and swarmed her, and then just ran off, and it's just like a skeleton laying there. Then
Like, these are piranha raccoons.
She definitely shows enough cleavage.
Wait, what video are you watching?
Go toward the end of it. It's like 2:20ish.
Oh, okay.
I think this guy's wishing he had a bigger bag of Doritos.
Dude, I'd come back and do that. That's neat as hell. That's crazy. Is that Sarah Palin? Oh, no, it ain't.
no, because this person was smart enough to spell raccoon.
Aren't those like the super hot ones? And so those raccoons, when they have burning butthole later, are going to hate every human?
Oh, because they're eating the spicy kind?
Yeah.
They're just a jack. They're not that hot.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but I put in the internal here since we got a little.
How could
quiet
that video
spot.
only have 14,000 views in freaking 2 years? That's crazy.
I just want to bring this up about using a drone to actually film what's going on in Baltimore. FAA actually has rules that they can prosecute you with, and that's you can't fly over a populated area. I guess that we consider Baltimore a populated area.
I got a real problem with all those rules. You should be responsible if you fly in those areas. You're responsible for it, but to say that you can't fly it in that is messed up.
I know.
And you're right about the rack, Quark.
Oh yeah, should just jump to the 2-minute mark or whatever.
No, I just got through to the 2-minute mark.
Yep. As I said, she's showing a lot of cleavage.
It's also better because they're going up and grabbing them from her. That's funnier than when they're just standing there.
Yeah, once we screw up the world and go by the way of the dinosaurs, it'll be the raccoons that take over for us.
I feel like you could have a whole bunch of little hamster wheels set up to generate, like hooked up to generators, and then just set up a whole bunch, like one bag of Dorito would power like your energy for a day with all those little raccoons running on hamster wheels.
Right. Yeah, but you got to be careful with those little raccoons. They're as dexterous as we are. They have 5 fingers and a thumb. That's why they're so good. That's why I had to put locks on my garbage cans. They figured out how to undo the little clamps, right, on the lid, and open it up and get in the garbage can. I had to put a real Haspin lock on there.
They used to come in our garage or barn back home, and they would actually twist lids off things, everything else. Like if you had jars of stuff like feed and stuff, they would twist the lids off and get in them. And
yeah, out here too. I know a few farmers that they had to move their canning rooms from a separate house to the basement just because of raccoons.
Yeah, raccoons are really smart.
Yeah, they are.
Yep, stop keeping my garbage outside and keep it in the garage because of raccoons.
So I watched that bunny one, and at the end, the suggested videos, one of them was for Barbarella's space rifle. How do they get that from watching a bunch of rabbits?
Are you talking about tested?
Yeah, he has to be. That's
yeah.
the only one I know of that has Barbarella's space rifle. Is when which one was it?
Savage, Adam Savage.
Yeah, that's a great YouTube channel. Okay, that tested. I like that tested. Man, I'd love to see that drone they've been playing with over in Baltimore.
I believe they use. What are they using? The DJI Phantom, I think.
Oh, I don't. You're
maybe
beyond
not.
my knowledge, but yeah, they got a killer he's using a killer drone lately, and they've shown it untested. And it, man, the film that takes. Wow.
Oh yeah, they've got a servo-driven gimbal that's buffered, so you don't get any jello effect on your video. It's just amazing. They aren't cheap either. He actually built his own case for it too, I think. Adam did.
Yeah, well, isn't he like King of the Geeks?
Pretty much.
I mean, he's got everything. He's got I don't know, everybody who never grows up. He's got Peter Pan's workshop, and it's a dream. You know?
Yeah, he actually builds Han Solo's blaster. Did the Blade? What was it? Yeah, Blade Runner gun. Does a whole bunch of really cool stuff like that.
Yeah, he's one of the few gun nuts in San Francisco.
He knows a little bit about guns. I just don't know if he's a gun nut himself.
Well, he likes playing with them through movies, but no, I don't. You can kind of tell they're not really gun nuts.
Yeah.
Well, they're not shooters. They just like
Right.
guns, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have an issue with guns, I don't think.
Well, yeah, they don't have an issue, but they're not like us, basically.
No. They're what I would consider like normal, average Americans.
Handsome?
Oh, thank you.
Not talking you, talking me. I bring the average up.
Yeah, but speaking of drones, Jamie actually mounted a frickin' saw blade on the end of one, or on the bottom of one. Tried to use it for pruning trees, and it did not work. That was a stupid idea. I didn't think it would work.
Well, was it you guys talking Bond guns the other day?
Yeah.
Do you remember in that one Bond film where they were bringing tree trimming by helicopter?
Oh, yeah. I forget which one that was.
Yeah, I forget too. I was just listening to you guys' Bond gun chat, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Then you got to watches, and it was even better. One of my other few geek things, your watches.
Oh, watches are freaking awesome.
And Bond made me buy my first Seiko.
I was trying to listen to that chat this morning, and it was hard because I realized Z couldn't hear Six String. So every time Six went to say something, Z would talk over him by mistake because he couldn't hear him. Google's been messed up like
I
that.
think there was something wrong with six strings in, because I couldn't hear six string either.
Oh.
Well, you hear it in the replay, and it is kind of funny. But those of us that have been doing these chats that long, it happens periodically.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it could have been with all that crap going on in Baltimore? Maybe the tubes were just all filled with people chatting with each other.
Yeah, I had to leave the chat because of my internet service. If I had decided to, well, screw and monkey around with the internet. And I didn't have internet for the whole night. Not until about noon the next day. Sucked. Real first world problem. Tapper Light said, Testaway better with just Adam and Jamie. Yeah, I like the other two guys, though. They definitely don't deserve a spot on television, but I like them on YouTube. Can't remember their names, but the Asian guy and the redheaded guy.
What the hell is that, like half racist? Why isn't it the black-haired guy and the red-headed guy?
Actually,
Why?
why wasn't it the black-haired guy and the Irish-looking guy?
Because I don't know his last name, so I couldn't say for sure he's Irish.
Black-haired guy and the white guy.
The thing about racism is it doesn't have to be accurate.
By the way, you guys actually liking or seeing the Mythbusters with just going back to Jamie and Adam?
Is that what they're doing the new season? Is going
That
just
well,
back to
they
Jimmy now?
yeah, well, it aired earlier this year.
Well, I kind of stopped watching it when they added the team of.
I can't remember the last time I
idiots.
watched one of them. Probably 2003 or something. Was they on that long?
Yeah, they've been on for
Yeah,
quite a while.
probably.
Yeah, no, maybe not 2003. I think they just had their 10-year anniversary.
2005, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I haven't watched it, religiously or any of it. I don't really watch much TV anymore, so.
Yeah, I got their Fruit
Right.
Ninja one.
They should have a
because-
YouTube video or a YouTube channel. Then people would watch them more.
Well, they're on Netflix now, so that's where I'm catching up on some of the stuff.
I actually dropped Netflix. I ran out of stuff to watch. Give it a few months break and get some more stuff on there so I can actually watch stuff.
Well, I do Netflix and Hulu, so that covers anything that the family wants to watch.
Oh, I can't do Hulu because you pay for it and you get commercials anyway.
Sounds like cable.
Ooh, that's true.
Lot of people don't know this, but cable at one time was all commercial free. That was the point.
Yeah,
that was the
that's
point
true.
of paying for cable. Because
Yeah.
all these, I know in the New York market, we had 48 channels that you got for free over the air when you went VHF and UHF. So then when you started paying for cable, you paid for for the variability of not having commercials.
So you really got like 40 something channels for nothing? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen maybe 6 for free. If you
No,
don't count like religious channels or something that's weird on the UHF side.
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm
I-
saying. We also got UHF, right? So we had.
Well, but even on
the
UHF,
13
it was usually like, just a couple of the superstations before they were called superstations. I didn't know that you could get that many. That would be awesome.
Oh, well, the tri-state area of New York is a huge market, right? So, and you were
Yeah, makes
picking up
sense.
every little towns that would have their own news or whatever would be on a UHF station rather than on, the main market station, the
Yep.
VH. So,
Let's say if you live in like Kenosha or Racine, which is between Milwaukee and Chicago, you got Milwaukee and Chicago stations.
yeah. And for some of their longer boost stations, because they would boost those signals, they would then be on UHF.
Yep.
Because at one time the airwaves were free.
Yeah, I know. I haven't had cable or direct TV 5 years now.
Just internet.
I had over the air. I live right outside Green Bay, so I'll get all the major networks. And
Oh, so you use a digital splitter thing, the digital tuner or whatever.
it's built right into my television. I just plug a regular rabbit ears into it, and I get the channels.
Right. Yeah, I could probably do that if I want to get those locals here, because I'm only 90 miles outside of Chicago.
You might need a directional, but
Maybe. I don't care enough to even bother.
yeah.
Anyway, I got to go get the wife. You gentlemen have a good night. Thanks, G, for having me in the earlier chat. Thanks, Quark, for having me in now.
Oh, you're quite
Yeah,
well.
thanks for joining.
And good fucking with you, Yankee. Later.
You probably left.
See you.
Oh, that was us. Bring that
I
up.
thought Mythbusters was on longer than. I thought it started in like '99 or something, but
No.
I think so, because I thought I remember seeing it with people that are not that aren't left in 2004.
Well, I'm gonna go search for it. So we'll see.
says 2003.
Yeah, 2003.
It just feels longer.
Well, that's 12 years. They really haven't done a whole lot of episodes, too. You know, you're looking at 259 in 12 years. It's not a whole lot of episodes.
I don't know. A lot of the timeline in my head is based on like pre and post 9/11, and I guess some of it gets mixed up.
Who popularized Super Bowl? Wait, I put the link out in the lobby. Nobody wanted to join, I guess. Come on, DB, join in here. And we got Tactical G-String out there who doesn't want to join in. Dead air.
I'm watching that damn show where he's making the Barbarella gun.
Ah! It's pretty cool. I watched it as well. And by the way, if you don't like Legos, then don't watch Tested because they build a lot of Legos.
For what? Just to make them, or to make something out of them?
They do like kits that you buy right from Lego.
I like how he leaves his freaking sander and on in a horizontal position, and then grabs the like safety cover, which is up, to like move it out of the way. Like he moves the whole sander by holding on to the safety cover. Could have just like cut his freaking hand off.
Yeah. But they also do like mystery builds where they get like a bag of bricks and build this design, but it's not like a Lego design. It's just somebody made this design and bags up the pieces and sends it to them.
Is there anybody on the gun channel side?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I said there's Tactical G-Strings out there and DB.
Sinister's out there. He hasn't been in a chat in like a year and a half.
No excuse. The only reason I'm not talking because I've been typing.
I'm looking for an FNS compact. There's not many online people have it. Except for this one website. They have one with night sights that's only $30 more than the other one. Not bad. I want to get it locally. How's your PPX holding up there, Quark?
Awesome. I'm going out to shoot it later this week. It's supposed to be nice like all this week through Monday, so since I'm basically down to one quad to fly outside right now, I think I can go to the range while I wait to repair that stuff. Probably going to go Thursday. Be my next slow day.
And you got a holster for that? What did you get, an alien gear?
No, I got a Fox hybrid,
Okay.
FOXX.
I believe that's pronounced Fox.
Foxes.
Something like that.
I'm interested to see where Gark gets his PO9 holster from, because I haven't been able to find one. That's not that you don't have to wait like 8 weeks for.
Well, I wouldn't. I guess it depends on what kind of. Holster you really want. Is he looking for something that?
I don't know if he's even looking for one. I never really looked that hard for one, but the usual places that I get holsters don't ever have.
Yeah. Well,
They,
I got
they
mine.
have like a CZ Shadow or a CZ SPO1 or a CZ 75, but they're not really doing the polymer framed CZs in mass quantities.
Yeah. I actually got my holster. It's made in Michigan, right outside of Detroit. So.
But is it union made?
Probably is. And hello.
What's going on, y'all? This is a pretty exciting chat.
Yeah, exactly. We could use some life in this.
Yeah.
I'm efforting, but I only got so much life after working on the stock for so long.
Well, today I learned how to do picture-in-picture in my video editing software.
I thought you were going to say on your TV. I was like, you just found the button?
And I'm like, that's cool.
I've never worked with any of those video editors. They're pretty fun. Just take a while.
It took me a little while to get it. It's syncing the two videos up, since one's from the quad's point of view, one's from my forehead.
Oh, okay.
That took the longest, but it's instead of uploading two videos that would be 1 gig each, it's one video that's 1 gig.
So, Quark, any reason you decided to put 11 bullets with your picture on your PPX there instead of 15 or 17? I've always tried
Is
to
it
figure
11?
That's what I just counted.
Oh, I just grabbed a handful.
No, it's 12. My bad. Okay. I was trying to figure out if it was like some secret code or something. I was like, I don't get it.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Wow, I just grabbed a handful of them.
All right. They look badass. Have you ever tested any of those? Has anyone ever? Like, other than the obvious, big YouTube.
Talking about the critical duties, or whatever they are.
like through any media?
I've never tested them besides making sure they function in my gun.
Okay. I'm guessing neither G-Web nor Yankee has.
Sorry, I'm reading. What are you talking about?
Have you ever done any sort of testing with bullets? See if they expand or perform as they should, or you just believe they will?
No. Well, I guess no. I mean, I've shot them at water bottles, but just for the heck of it, I didn't. I mean, I take the results of actual testing. I don't need to do it myself because I don't think I know anything more than an actual tester would know.
You trust T and Outdoors 9 as well, I see.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem. I know him, but I mean, I just meant like in the olden days, I always figured I like Gold Dot because no matter who was doing testing, selling what product, Gold Dot always performed well in everybody's tests. So I just figured, they know what they're doing to sell their product, and if they're going to say Gold Dot is almost as good, then it must be almost as good.
Which, on a side note, I was looking at some Gold Dot brass next to Hornady brass, and they're 357 Magnum. They're both same grain, same non plus P, obviously, 357. And one brass was longer than the other, but they're still the same length bullet. That was really weird. Or they're the same overall length, but the brass was longer on one of them. I've never seen that before on any other cartridge.
That was interesting.
Well, I thought I was seeing stuff. I was like, what's going on here? Hornady's cheating me on brass. Either that or Gold Dot's being really generous. And actually, I don't know if I asked this before, but so I have never shot a revolver until about 2 weeks ago, and this gun is hitting dead on when I do it from a bench rest. But when any of the 4 people that were there, and we're all, pretty decent shots, we couldn't hit this thing. It was not deviating left or right. It was high or low, or we would hit it dead on. What do you think could cause that? Just sight picture?
That'd be my guess.
Did you get behind the gun when it was in a bench rest?
Well, I mean, when I shot it from the bench, like, by bench, I mean it was on some sandbags and my hand was death gripping it, so it wasn't moving other than my sight picture where I had it, and it was dead nuts accurate when I was doing that. And when we were shooting at freehand, there was no deviation left or right. It was all up and down. But then again, neither of us really have shot revolvers. So I'm guessing it's just sight picture. You guys got any input on that or experience with revolvers?
Oops, I was locked into myself for some reason. I don't know why. Sorry about that, folks.
My experience is I never shot them very well, and then I bought one that had a traditional, like a semi-auto sight picture with the, it had like a front post with a fiber optic rod in there, and then the rear was a Novak, like a 1911 style.
Oh, so it's yep, okay.
So it was and then like all of a sudden I went to the range. First time shooting it, I hit a fucking bullseye. The second time was like, it was fucking incredible, right?
That's awesome.
And I just think you're just so used to the semi-auto sight picture. You know what I mean? It's just weird with that ramp up in the front and the notch in the back, and
that's almost what I'm thinking.
If there's a red insert on the notch, on the ramp.
Well, and it doesn't catch up terribly well either.
Right. So a little deviation up and down. Well, that would be it. Where if you got 3 dots and you're used to always lining up the 3 dots, it's harder to line up that ramp up and down.
Yeah, I just know I shoot a revolver a lot better than I do a semi-auto.
That's crazy. See, it's the exact opposite for all of us that were there. And like I was shooting my shield, right? Everyone says tiny guns are hard to shoot. Well, I was shooting like 2-inch groups with that thing at 10 yards, and the revolver I couldn't hit shit with. It was just weird to me, like, oh, this is breaking all the myths I see.
I think it just happens to do with the trigger myself, and
Yeah, I don't know what kind of. A lot of these revolver ramps, they have like a red, like insert, and then you kind of like, I don't know, you line up with the notch, and you get that red part of the ramp sight even and shit. You know what I'm talking about? And some of them don't. Like my snubby doesn't. My snubby's got a gutter.
Yeah.
And then it's got the notch, and I don't know. You line up the top of the front sight with the rear of the gutter, so it's just all even.
Yeah, those are the weirdest sight pictures ever.
Oh yeah. Or do I bring it up just a tad, or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Or do you just not use your sights and belly shoot?
Well, no, I try. I'm bringing to the range and just have fun and see how accurate of a fucking group I can get, and at least got to be consistent.
Have any of you guys ever shot the Gunsmoke edition Smith Wesson?
No.
I shot it. Sucks. Like, it stings my hands. Never had a gun do that, and I shoot an FNX 45. Like,
they all do that.
Are not for effeminate men.
You're a funny guy. I think it was just because
I don't think it's the Gunsmoke
big that it.
I'd like to
you're
think
supposed
it's
to
the
say you're a
Gunsmoke.
funny. No, I just say you're a funny girl. That's what you're supposed to say.
Nah, I'll stick with my words.
I'm not Barbara.
Trust me, it's not just the Gunsmoke edition. You know what I mean? It's just the gun. All I see the Gunsmoke edition is the fucking grip. Well, maybe that could be it. They changed the grip and they polished some fucking metal. Like,
Yeah, I didn't get to look at the inside, but I understand it's just polished.
Small little revolvers like that are hard to shoot and they sting.
Yep. The only one I had fun with, and I consistently could have fun with it, was the LCR. The Ruger LCR is awesome.
When you got something that is incredibly lightweight, but still has almost zero flex, that energy's got to go somewhere.
And I was wondering if it was just because, okay, I wear double XL gloves, and, like, I basically mongoloided that grip. I was wondering if it's just because my hands are so goddamn big that they're squeezing in on each other when it shoots, or what.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You see on the Smith & Wesson, like, I don't know if you can see this, but you see this metal right here?
Yeah.
On a J-frame?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people hold these things like this.
What?
And then the recoil fucking slams it
Only if
up
they
into
get
your
the
fucking
advice
hand. The
from
whole
Yankee.
fucking. I'm saying, like, it's like, ooh, ow, it hurts. This metal is banging my fucking hand. What I feel is, it's like, I grip so fucking high on this thing that it's like a fucking Glock. Like, this part of the metal is, like, in the fucking palm of my hand.
Yeah,
and then I can fucking shoot this shit.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't hurt as bad.
That's why that indentation is up there. That's where the meat of your hand is supposed to be.
That's exactly the way I shot the damn thing, though. That's what perplexed me. I guess I never
then
shot
it's
a little
fucking
38
12. It is-
before that.
It's
No,
12
they hurt.
ounces, dude. It's like 13 ounces, I think. So,
Damn,
yeah, it's lightweight. No, I think the
It's 'cause in
maximum
TV
these things
shows,
are
they're
like,
constantly shooting them like no big thing. Like, here we are, bang, 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 no big deal.
yeah, they fucking
That's
hurt.
cool, though. I like shooting it. It's like, he's like, man, you want to keep shooting it? It looks like it kind of sucks. I was like, yeah, this thing stings like a son of a bitch, but give me all your ammo. I want to keep shooting it.
No, the most I could do is maybe like 20 cylinders of fucking plus P, and then my hand will hurt the next day.
I
That's
love when people, instead of putting the meat of their hand up here, like you said, will hold it where you can see like that much sticking up.
I've never understood that.
Oh yeah, it'll hurt that way.
That'll
That
sting
hurts
like
a lot.
crazy. Your meat goes up here.
And I think, you know, that's just from being like, wow, when I first started doing it, shooting like that gun, I did have a high, like the gun was too high, and it was slapping the fucking web of my thumb and pointer, and man, that fucking hurt. And whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But no, I mean, dude, plus P ammo out of that thing it's a beast, man.
Oh, yeah.
But that LCR, the Ruger LCR, is the most enjoyable snubby to shoot because of that grip. It's like a Dr. Scholl's gel insert.
I have to see that.
Oh, it's crazy. The grip completely surrounds the back strap, so there's nothing but like rubber jelly.
You can get
Well,
But it
that
also
grip.
makes it more to hold on to, which I think is easier. You know, there's
Yeah,
more
it's
there.
not flush with the frame. It's like those old Packmeyer grips that are.
Yeah, I mean, you can get wraparound grips like that for other guns too, like on the Smith and Wesson. You can get the ones that wrap around like this, and they do make it a lot more easier to shoot.
I like them, but they just don't look as cool to me. Which is funny because the revolver I bought had old Packmeyers that wrap around. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of different.
Oh, that's why I jumped in here. Because I know G-Webs and Yankee both might know the answer to this question. So, the Vepr 12, right?
Yeah.
They're still out there. And now I see Classic drop the price, but they say, not like the old version. This doesn't have the folding stock that's welded. This has it looks like the folding stock, but it's just the solid piece. It was never meant to fold. Now, which one is that? That's why they dropped the price? Because these ones
Probably.
suck, or what?
Well, because who would want one that doesn't fold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because these have literally all the guts and springs and whatever, like attachment, or what is it? The little clippy thing is all in there.
Yep.
And those are just like you say, just like they took the same parts but then just welded them all together without putting the internals
This
in.
is a fully functional folding stock. Everything about it. Let me get my camera turned on.
So it'll work if you just cut that weld.
This is a fully
If you
functional.
make it 922R compliant.
All the materials there, everything for the soldering stock is still there. The only thing is, let me see if I can get my camera close enough to it so you can see it. There is I don't even see if you can see it. It's so small. Can you see that? See that tiny little TIG weld? You could break that with, I could break it with my hand if I wanted to.
So, okay. So when you bought that, I remember how much about did you pay for that? Do you remember? Like $9 or $1,000 or something?
Yeah, I think it was like $900, like $899 or something like that.
Okay.
Or no,
now.
it might have been $799.
Now the ones with the folding stocks that are still here are like $1,100, and this new folding, the one that's non-folding is $799.
I think $799 might have been about what I paid for it. I think it was $812 when I had it all said and done. Or $842 when I had it all said and done.
Gotcha. And the other thing is the mags are the mags really this expensive? $45 like for a 5-round mag? Oh man, that's crazy.
Get the 10 and everything round mag. They're nicer, but they're
$40. It said $45. That's so expensive for.
You want to keep these around the larger mags. Just don't stick them in the gun. Keep them in the plastic.
How much are those? Like $20?
Like 45 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it said original Molot 5-round mag, $45. Oh shit.
SGM Tacticals.
Okay, those are cheaper. Those are a little cheaper for 5-rounders.
They're good though. They're just as good as the Malott one. I haven't noticed any difference between them and the Malott ones myself. At least not the ones I got. Which means I may have either gotten crappy Malott ones or really good SGM ones.
Yeah, I was looking at a Beretta. It's like a tactical shotgun. I don't know what the model number is.
Is it that semi-auto that came out 2 years ago?
Yep. And they dropped the price down to like $770, and I was like, oh shit. So I was looking at that, and then I saw the fucking Vepr 12. I'm like, oh, I thought they were banned, but I remember like a few months ago people were saying no, they're coming in, but now they're just coming in with this different stock. It sucks. All right. I was hoping one of you guys would say, yeah, the folding stock version sucks, and the other one is the way to go. Whatever.
If you want to do a little.
Well, if price is your main thing, I guess that's right.
Yeah. If you want to do a little tinkering around, you can make them a folding stock, but that's up to you.
Hacksaw can make most anything folding.
That's why I said it. And if that, I'm trying to remember what the hell that Beretta is, but if it's the one I'm thinking about, it's basically a Benelli M4 internals. It's like the Versamax is an M4 pretty much.
Yeah. Questions, man.
1301 tactical. That's what it is.
Yeah. I
You
think
know,
it was
that
like
was a badass looking
850.
gun. I remember
Are
when
you
it came
gonna
out.
buy
I
a
almost wanted
Sega?
one.
I want to take credit. I'm going to say,
Vepr
I
12?
want to pretend that the only reason he's looking at Vepr 12s is because I posted one on Instagram today.
Yeah, that too. You reminded me they're awesome. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's cool.
I wouldn't buy one.
You wouldn't buy a Vepr 12?
No. Those are
I wanted to buy a
way more
Sega
shotguns
12.
you could buy. I wouldn't
Sega.
buy that either.
Okay.
Nope.
Unless you're shooting 3-gun. I don't know why you'd want a magazine-fed shotgun.
I fucking hate, honestly, I'm starting to hate pumps because, like, I took my mom shooting again. She short-shucked it every fucking time.
They kick
And,
way harder, too.
I can say a good reason
This
why.
thing is going to weigh a ton compared to a pump, though.
I
Oh, no, I know.
reason I'd want a magazine-fed shotgun: capacity and reloading.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, that's
I understand
cool.
the operation of them. I think it's just I'm saying, who wants to? What are you gonna? How are you gonna
They're so
effectively
bulky.
carry around those mags? Yeah, that's ridiculous. And then what are you gonna do? Shoot 10 or 30 rounds of shotgun at somebody? Be next to you could have hundreds of rounds of 7.62 by 39.
When the zombies are eating you because you're reloading your pump shotgun and I'm still shooting with my magazine.
Problem is, we'll have AKs. We don't use
$50 mags.
But if I
The
did,
only problem I see with the Sega 12s is they don't like low brass stuff, the cheap stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about there, but I would
They,
not
a lot
own
of
them
people
if I
say
wasn't.
that, but I never had a problem with low brass through my Vepr.
Well, I
It
thought it
depends
was
on how they
completely
come.
adjustable gas system.
Federal, Winchester,
It depends on how they come tuned from the factory.
Segas and Veprs aren't the same thing, so they're
Nope.
definitely different guns. But I've never had any trouble with my Segas. I've got more than a few, so they're fine. I mean,
But
people
isn't
like
it
to say that
completely
they have problems?
adjustable? It's completely adjustable, right?
No, it
Yeah,
depends on the
every-
gun. Not all of them.
every
Which one are you
time
talking
I
about, the Sega or the Vepr?
Both of them. I thought they both have adjustable
I
gas
think the
systems. for
Veprs might
ammo.
all have adjustable, but not all the Segas.
every time I saw a Sega at the range, people are trying to use the cheap Federal box of birdshot, and everyone was having trouble with it that I saw at the range. So
Anybody you see at the range, who knows what kind of crazy shit? Maybe they reloaded those, or maybe they got them from 100 years ago, or maybe their gun's horrible, or you don't know all the variables there. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but that's what they call what do they call that when you just see something?
Speculation.
No, I mean he saw it happen. I'm just saying that's just the one instance. It's not the anyway. All I'm saying is it counteracts with mine that work fine, and I definitely don't go out and buy. I never buy shotgun ammo unless I'm going hunting. I don't buy shotgun ammo. I just use everybody's like loose ones, or I go to shops when they have like empty boxes or half boxes and stuff. Like I always just scrounge because I don't use shotgun for anything. If I'm not going hunting with it, it's just only for playing. And then I'm like shooting something of water or whatever, so it really doesn't matter to me what I'm shooting. So I shoot anything through them, and they've always ate everything I've given them.
that's cool. And
So
my
all I'm
friend-
saying is, though, I still wouldn't want one. They're just an interesting thing, but they're not useful. I wouldn't recommend them. I mean, you're saying for your mom?
No, not for my mom. I'm just saying, like, for me, because I just don't. I mean, I like pumps too, but I've short shucked the pump before. You know
So
what I
you're
mean?
just talking
There's a
about just
lot.
for going out and enjoying a shotgun occasionally, a couple of times a year, like to go just shoot recreationally, or are you talking about as potentially a effective, practical gun?
Yeah, potential home defense shotgun.
No,
But I'm
think
kind
a
of. I
horrible
don't.
option. Horrible option.
I don't know if I want to do pump anymore. That's my point, because I just.
Well, I would not do a semi. One, you have all the complications of it having a malfunction, and then good luck trying to figure out how to figure out a malfunction
Clear
on a
it.
Sega. Yeah, they're not AKs.
Oh no,
They're
not a Sega, but
Vepr.
say a Benelli or something. Is
That's
it really
different.
that hard? Oh, okay.
No,
The
that's different.
Nellies are unbelievably advanced.
If
They're the
I mean, I don't prefer shotguns, but at least you're talking about an actual useful shotgun. You're never going to see a police force ever anywhere using a Sega or a Vepr
Not in
unless
America.
it's given to them by the government.
No, but I've seen cops use those 1187 Remingtons and shit. I just was wondering how easy is it to clear a malfunction on a semi shotgun? Like it can't be that crazy, is it?
It can be easy.
Well, it's difficult, but if you're familiar with the manual of arms, it gets easier. And
Every
then
shotgun
that
is
said,
different.
How often do shotguns malfunction? I mean, very, very rarely. So, but you're right. Every shotgun's going to have a different manual of arms. But there's a reason people go to pumps. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless
I
you're
just found
a
it.
mobile home or whatever, I can't see using a shotgun.
I don't.
Like,
Yeah, I don't.
using a
I
shotgun
never
in
use
the
it.
80s, but it's ain't the 80s no more.
The fucker sits in my safe, man. It doesn't. I don't ever fucking play with it or nothing. And then when I bring it out, and like, you know, my girlfriend shot it. I don't think she had a problem with it, except she hated it. And then my mom short shucked it like every fucking time. And I know I've short shucked it in the past, and it was just like, fuck,
Is
man.
it a
Like
3.5 chamber or just 3?
But
No,
it's probably her
three.
stance then. Is she
Oh.
pumping, like the recoil of shooting it is breaking it, and then she's not intentionally
Probably,
pumping
yeah.
it?
Right.
Yeah. So that, I mean, you could train her to deal with that by pushing forward instead of holding it.
Right.
But again, that's a lot of work for a
I
shotgun.
agree with you, man. I think for like,
Just smack her in the mouth every time she did it, and eventually she'd learn not to do it.
I'm
I don't
about
think
to.
your ma's ever gonna like a shotgun. I can't imagine. I mean, my mom
Oh,
will
she
pick
thinks
something
it-
up
she
and
thinks
shoot it to. Oh, really?
Oh, no. She thinks she's hobo with a shotgun. She thinks that she's like Annie Oakley with this thing, and I tried to prove to her, like, trust me, you suck with this thing. Let's see. Because
Let's
she's got one
gunfight.
too. No, I was like, let's see, and let's go to the range. And when we do it, she'll hit the target, and then she'll short chuck it or something. Or she'll hit the target and just be so stunned from the blast and shit. I'm like, well, you know,
Yep.
okay, you're accurate with it, but can you shoot it twice? And I just don't think it's necessary. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have her with something else. Like, I don't know,
Something
like
she
a
can use.
revolver. Yeah, a light. I told her, like, what about calling the police, like, or having that two-handed operation? That blast is so heavy duty, like, it could like, you know, if you're off balance or something, you could drop the fucking gun or something. I don't know. I just I don't like it for her, you know. But she loves it. And
Now,
what makes it
what
worse
if-
is her shotgun is pistol gripped. It's the fucking craziest.
Oh.
She shoots it down at her hip.
So you're saying
Oh,
your
it's
mom already
horrible.
has her own shotgun?
Oh, yeah. I have one with a stock, and she's got pistol grip.
That is
And she keeps
definitely
it-
why she's short cycling it, like you're saying, because
Okay,
people that
okay.
have those, you can't tell them to because it's unsafe, but you need to really pull your hands away from each other and create that tension so that it doesn't break when you recoil, because you're holding it by what you consider to be your forward handguard, but it's not. It's the pump. So, well, you know what's happening. So, like you say, that's why those Mossbergs have that little strappy thing, so that you can do that a little more comfortably
Oh,
without worrying
okay,
about your
yeah.
hand flying off the front and hitting the muzzle.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Well, today I looked at that Beretta, and I was
I didn't
like,
know your
wow,
mom was so hardcore.
Oh yeah, she thinks she's a
She's a
hardcore.
bomb.
She's a hardcore. And she's pretty good with it. But I'm just saying, like, when it malfunctions, she's done.
Is she
And-
doing the Terminator 2 one-hand pump?
No, she's like holding it up, like, you know, like almost like when, like holding it up towards her chest, like pushing it out, and like shooting it, like not really down by her hip.
Oh.
And it's not smacking her in the face or nothing, but like still, it's like weird. And then I told her, you need to stop on this thing. It's horrible. And then she's like, no, because we're only at the range where she can't shoot it from her hip at the range we're at because she'll shoot the fucking table. You know what I mean? So she's got to do that above the table there at the indoor range. But she's like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'd shoot it at my hip. That's how I would do it. And then,
Now, what
you know,
shotguns do you have? Do
I
you
just
a
have an
regular
870.
A70? Okay, so if you brought your A70 out, so she could put the stock, like, you know, like between your elbow and your ribs, like, you know, kind of with your elbow. If she could do that, she might like that a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Have she ever shot it like that, you think?
I think she shot it like that, but it just
Because
like,
then you might be able to talk her into just getting one of those speed stocks that holds 4 rounds or something.
Those are sweet.
And then
They
stick
actually-
that on there, because it'll fit on her gun. She said it's a Mossberg.
she's got a 500 pistol grip, old pistol grip 500.
I would think. I mean, I don't think Mossberg ever made one that was only a pistol grip. You can just take the pistol grip off and replace it with a stock. Almost positive.
Oh yeah. Yep, she stole it from
That's-
me.
Oh, okay.
Back
So
in the
it
day.
didn't. So it's what is that? A Persuader or a Cruiser when it only has the
Oh, it's
pistol
probably
grip?
yeah. No. It was my dad's who passed away, and that was like all I got when he passed away. That was my
Oh, okay.
inheritance, and then it came. He modified it with some piece of shit like a Packmeyer or something. You know, like some aftermarket grip.
Seriously, the
So I could
Packmeyers
put
are like the worst of all the pistol grips because they got that like. Well, we're used to making Thompson Contender grips, so that's what we're gonna put on every shotgun. So like now you've got this weird ass under grip angle that I don't know what they think
horrible,
people are
yeah.
shooting off of a shotgun. Yeah.
It's horrible. But I mean, and then the gun is all rusted. And then my stepdad bought a. He was like, "Which one should I get?" I told him something. He totally didn't listen. He bought Mossberg like turkey killer or some
Oh,
fucking shit. It's like got camo
yeah.
and fucking. It's got an AR stock and then a
He's
pistol
probably like,
grip.
oh, this was cheaper.
Yeah, it's that goofy. It's meant for sitting, not doing
It's
anything.
fucking horrible, dude. It has like an AR.
It's got a turkey grip stock.
No, it's got an AR butt stock, like an AR-15 butt stock, and then it's got a pistol grip.
Goofy, like wrap under and up pistol grip, like the old import AK stocks.
No, it's different than that. This is
Okay.
some like souped up fucking. It's got a pistol grip, like a regular shotgun pistol grip, and then it's got an AR-15 collapsible butt stock, but it's like Duracoated, whatever the spray painted like tan. And then it's got a fiber optic. Yeah, it's got a fiber optic front sight, which is a piece of shit, probably. No, but I really like that Beretta, I must say.
Yeah,
I like the feel
Beretta
of it.
builds good stuff, but you're gonna pay
5 + 1. Well, 770 is not bad.
$770.
Yeah,
If
770.
you're gonna throw that kind of money into it, I would definitely get a Beretta over a Sega or a Vector or whatever.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
Well, the Vepr is a million times better than a Sega, I guess, because it's a different gun. But
Yeah.
it's still it's neat for 3-gun, and it's neat because I'm an AK guy. I like that it is what it is, but practically, I would not recommend them. Plus, they're $1,000. They're like way too much. Like, I
Well,
want
I have
to
a
defend my
Bluesman.
house, but I don't want to scratch my shotgun, so I don't know what to do.
I'm sure I could like sell my shotgun that I have for like damn near what I paid for it, and then just throw a couple hundred bucks more, probably like $270, and then I could have this semi kick-ass Beretta. But I would like a Benelli, but they're like $1,000. I've never seen a Benelli for less than $1,000.
Would you semi-auto?
Used, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, you could find some used ones, but good luck.
I like that M2 Tactical. from a
Those are
few years ago.
badass.
Yeah, those are cool.
I like. The
It didn't have a
M3.
pistol
Which
grip,
one is the
did it?
switchable? Is that the M3? Yeah, it's the 3.
No, yeah, that's the really expensive one. They're like
No, the
15.
M4 is way more expensive.
Oh no, yeah, the M2 Tactical. It just had a regular shoulder stock.
Yep, I like those.
Yeah, me too.
Anything Benelli makes is top of the, like, they've been defining shotguns for quite a while now, so I'd say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was my gun OCD tonight, with shotgun OCD.
For now.
For now, yeah. And the Glock 43 again. Going back and back. They had 27 in stock yesterday. Today they had 10. Tomorrow they'll have none.
Oh,
So,
what? Which one? The 23?
The 43.
Single stack.
They had 27 last night. I think they got a shipment of 40, like, on Friday. And they're down to like 10. So, my last chance will be tomorrow. I got my coupon, man. My coupon. But I got some money. But we'll see. I haven't heard anyone say like they suck yet, like they don't work. Like right about now, this is when like Artisan Tony was doing his video, like, this fucking Glock 380 doesn't work, remember? A lot of people were putting videos out.
It turned out that was an issue, though, right?
Oh yeah, there was a couple of issues, they said. The magazine or the something, there was something wrong with the gun. So I'm just wondering if, I'm hoping that the 43 is not like that if I do it.
Put that link in the side chat just so you can stare at an M4 and contemplate it.
I'm staring at the link that's the exact shotgun my stepdad got, is the one Island just put. The Mossy Oak Turkey Thug.
Turkey thug, there it is.
Yeah, that thing is a fucking idiot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, those are retarded. I got to handle one before and I was like, this doesn't feel like a good gun.
Gotta be careful about it when those turkeys become a gang.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
right.
It's time to get the frickin' ATV then.
He bought it at like
Or
fucking Bass Pro. He got ripped off on the price too. Like that, some big shop, store, stupid fucking place.
Yep. You pay.
You know how it is, though, man. Sometimes a person just wants what they want, and they're not going to give a shit what anybody else has to tell them about it, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know what I told him to get. I think I told him to get just a regular, like maybe a 590. He could have bought a 590 A1 for that price with a fucking ghost ring or something. Something cool. I'm sure he wound up paying like $600 for that piece of shit.
Holy crap!
You know what I mean? Maybe it was 5 or something. Yeah, you don't buy fucking guns from Gander Mountain or Bass Pro or fucking places like that. They'll just rip you off.
I will say though, because I do work there in Cabela's, we do have the gun library. I have seen some insane.
What's your
deals
store
in there.
number?
Nope. I was told about that one. No, thank you. I do say we have some pretty damn good deals on used guns that surprises me still. Like we got an M&P 9 with basically unused with night sights with 4 magazines for $500. That's insane to me.
Like out here, you're gonna, for the most part, pay full MSRP. So I noticed that the first 3 firearms that I ended up buying, that I was able to buy the ones that I wanted, but the only place on island that actually had them happened to be the big box store. So sometimes there's a little bit of guilt in my heart over it.
But what can you do?
Yeah, you
can't do much.
They didn't have a sport anywhere else on island at that time in 2012. They didn't have the Maverick 88 security, which was the 8-shot model at that time. And as far as a Glock 30S, one of the places I walked into and said, "Why would you want one of those?" Oh, okay. Okay. I told him because I'm a positive thinker, and one day we will have concealed carry out here. And they just laughed. I'm like, all right.
You're just like, I see, I can't count on you.
Well, no, I don't hold it against them, man. They have to deal with the market that they have out here, so they got to do what they got to do. I understand that. I support them when I can. I just happen to haven't purchased any actual firearms, but targets, ammo, cleaning supplies, snap caps, this, that, the other thing. I've bought all of that kind of stuff from them, though. Oh, that TR8, that was nowhere on island. I did have to actually order that one.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
When you do shipping to the island, how does that work even?
Usually those motherfuckers on the mainland want you to pay for 2-day air.
Wow.
Yeah. But
I thought paying for overnight ground was expensive.
Well, and that's the thing, the theory is they want you to pay overnight, but there is technically no such thing as overnight to Hawaii. I mean, it's just not a reality.
Not yet.
Well, right, but yeah, it's not a reality. So, like anytime they wanted 2-day on the shipping for the handgun. The last time I looked up being able to get some ammo, they want 2-day air for that. I did talk to Dylan Precision, and on their website they wanted 2-day air, but or FedEx. But when I emailed them, they emailed me back. They're like, "Look, just call us. We can figure out USPS or something like that." I'm like, "Cool. That's the kind of work with me, not against me kind of stuff I like to hear."
Yeah. There's a reason I bought a Dylan, let's put it that way.
And that's also one of the reasons I became an Amazon Prime member too, is the way the shipping works. So.
Cool.
That works for you out there?
It's not always 2-day, but it is. If it's a Prime item, it's free shipping. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I want to ship machinery or something out here.
Well, it doesn't really cost.
Take 5 of those.
Ship stuff to you. It doesn't cost anything more than it would if I was shipping it to Yankee or DB or something. So I can't imagine anybody would care. It's just that it doesn't get to you as fast as it gets to them, I guess.
Exactly.
There's
And
no extra cost to get it there?
Not that kind of stuff I send them.
Huh.
I mean, like a bulk. Even that time I sent you the big box, it was the same flat rate big box. They didn't care where it was going.
yep.
That's pretty
And
cool.
that's one of the reasons I really like the USPS flat rate stuff. I mean, because for me, shipping from here, because oh, my goddaughter and stuff like that, so like birthdays and holidays, like I was getting killed going to like the UPS or paying before they started or before I started really utilizing the flat rate stuff. I was getting killed on shipping. Like no matter what the how much stuff I put in a box, it seemed like it was 70 to $100 of shipping a time. Whereas,
What?
oh yeah, and that would be like for 12 by 12, even if it was a 12 by 12 by 12 cube kind of a thing, sometimes a little bit bigger. It seemed like it was usually about that. So now, even if I have to send 3 of the large flat rate boxes, or if everybody gets one in the house or something like that, it's still cheaper than what shipping was before. So I don't know. Sometimes you got to utilize what workarounds you can, I guess.
Yep. Man's gotta survive.
Well, that's gonna happen. It's in my name.
Touche, salesman.
Oh, yeah. After watching Wolf of Wall Street yesterday, I'm feeling good about all sorts of stuff.
How was that? I heard it was a damn good movie.
If you get a chance, you should definitely watch it. How old were you in the '80s?
I wasn't around.
Oh, well then, some
You're
of it's gonna be
17. You
lost.
forgot.
Some of it's gonna be lost on you then, because
Oh,
the Wolf of Wall Street, if you lived through the '80s, there's gonna be so much in there you're gonna either laugh, cry, or just remember.
Let's put it this way. I didn't live through the 80s, but everyone I grew up around did. My parents were pretty damn crazy during the time. And being a metalhead, all my buddies that were old school were from the 80s. So that's about the period of time that I didn't live in that I've want to go to.
And then again, I guess you know what? I guess really the Wolf of Wall Street was only partially in the late '80s. Most of it was in the '90s, I guess. So that was when I was graduating high school and traveling around the country and trying
Wow,
different
man.
shit. Yeah, I moved here in '94.
Damn.
Is Quark still around?
He could be. He might be
Quark?
sleeping.
He's running it.
He's here.
Yes, I'm still here.
Did you see my post on the taser at the park?
On the main page, like it was
Yeah.
last night or this morning.
Yeah, this morning I posted the news
No.
article.
I missed it.
It's that one about I was saying about the guy who put up the drone in Hawaii. Got
Yeah,
tasered.
he was on the Jaeger Volcano Museum overlook of the volcano rim in Kilauea, which is being active, and some guy had a quadcopter and was buzzing the crowd with it or something, and so the the park ranger came up to arrest him, and then he ran away, so he tased him.
What?
Yeah,
Nice.
the justification was first the quadcopter could have hurt somebody, and then he tased him in the back while he was running away, because then the next justification was he could have accidentally run over somebody while he was running or something. I mean,
Well, wait a minute. I don't think they're not necessarily not allowed to tase you in the back, right?
well, I mean, the guy was running away.
I thought
and
there was a law that you're not supposed to shoot or tase someone in the back.
Oh, I don't think. I
No.
think it's the first part. I don't think it's the second part.
Okay.
I think that's one of the reasons that you can tase somebody in the back is they are fleeing or whatever.
I
Really?
mean,
Okay.
it's not a great idea because you're gonna typically seize up basically. So if you're moving, then
You're going face first.
Your momentum is going to keep you moving. Yeah, so it's not the safest thing, but it sounds like that guy wasn't looking out for everybody's best interest necessarily, or at least for that guy's best interest. But then the
Yeah.
conclusion was the judge was rational and let him go for $1, right?
Well, no, he didn't let him go for he didn't charge him anything for bail. It was just signature release. I mean, they haven't tried the case yet. It was just
So he was
initial
released on
appearance.
his own
Oh, it's
recognizance.
not over. It's just
Yeah.
you didn't get to stage it. Oh, I thought it was over.
As far as bail goes. Well, and here's the other thing. That it was in Volcano National Park then?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's a federal crime. Right
It-
there. That is a federal crime then.
Running away.
No.
Doing
Committing
anything on a national park is a federal offense.
Yep.
Doing what?
Just it's a federal property, so it would make it a federal issue.
Like literally, if like you urinated in public, it would be one thing if you were anywhere, but if you happen to be on state or federal land, it just kind
What
of.
they charged him with was failure to comply with a lawful order and
He didn't get public
interfering-
endangerment or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, that they didn't charge him with anything that would justify being tased. They charged him with interfering with park policy, which I guess the park policy was no quadcopters. So anyway, the article is in there, but it's like there's a wall of police that are standing up for this guy on the
Well,
just
like
comments.
if he wouldn't have ran, he probably wouldn't have got tased. If he would have stood there and took it like a man, he wouldn't have got hurt. He probably got
he
a
was a
ticket.
dumb kid, but I mean, still, the guy runs away. I mean, and I don't know if you know where. There's nowhere he can run. I mean, there's like one outlet from the park. There's one road out. I mean, and that's it. I mean, and the overlook at the Jacob Museum. I mean, yeah, it's a round highway that just goes around the caldera. I don't know, was it 3 miles around or 5 miles around or 4 miles around or something? It's just a big circle, and then there's one outlet, and then there's one that goes kind of all the way down to the ocean, and then there's a dead end. Like.
To me, it sounds like they limited their liability by nipping it in the bud. Is my opinion.
I just think that they shot him in the back because they didn't feel like chasing him.
Or
It's always
spending.
possible.
Well, if he gets in his car and then turns that into anything, or I mean, there's so many other things that could have happened. I personally think that if he would have complied with the order, the lawful order, nothing would have happened. And maybe they might have just confiscated.
Is a quadcopter actually dangerous? Can you actually hurt somebody with a quadcopter?
Well, hell yeah.
If it is actually against park policy,
well,
then
there weren't any signs up saying it was. They could have just made that. I don't know if it is or not. But there's no signs up that say no quadcopters. I mean, how would anybody?
There's no sign up that says don't shit on your neighbor, but you don't go shit on your neighbor.
Quadcopter. Right. Everybody takes pictures, and you could just consider it a camera. CNN puts quadcopters up like in at news events too. So.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think it's crazy to say you can't do something just blank across the board. I mean, it should be also assumed that if you're going to do something that endangers park property, you're liable for whatever your copter damages. And if that's another person, or if it's like a fancy piece of landscape or something, then you're liable.
Can you hurt somebody with one? Kate?
Well, wait a minute. You said he buzzed
you can
the
hurt
crowd.
somebody really bad with a copter, especially a bigger one.
Especially,
you said he buzzed the crowd, so maybe if he wouldn't have been a jerk to the crowd, it might have even been a non-issue. He might have not even got in trouble for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I just want Cork to answer if how big how can you hurt somebody, or how big it has to be to actually? I mean, how much does your average quadcopter weigh?
Even the $25 one that's a micro can still take your eye out. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something. The propellers or props on any quad can cause injury.
They're all steel, aren't they?
No, they're plastics normally.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of the smallest quadcopters made cut my nose with the prop. It was like a paper cut.
But the thing is, this thing had a camera on it, so it's not the little handheld things. It's probably at least fairly medium size just to carry the camera.
It's probably like a DJI Phantom size, which those props can cause serious injury. I'm not sure what the RPMs on the motors are, but
I don't know if it had a camera.
I'm guessing 30 to 40,000.
Oh, well, I just assumed it had a camera because why else would you just be flying it around? If he's just flying around to be a jerk just because he had nothing else to do, then that seems even more inappropriate. I figured he had a camera on it.
There's a lot of crowds going to the volcano now because the lava is rising to the top of the caldera at night, and it looks really cool. But so I was just wondering how much of a danger your average quadcopter was. I mean, what's the RPMs?
Well,
Faster.
it varies from quad to quad, but 30, 40,000.
That's
RPMs per minute.
insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
my
4 little
little teeny
blenders
tiny
flying
one.
around.
Yeah, because it uses such a small motor, it spends 70,000.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But they're just tiny little plastic things, though, right?
They're spinning
You're
pretty
talking
fast.
about
Talking
an
about
8
something that
or
has some amount of
9
mass
inch.
with velocity, so that's a potential for a lot of energy displacement. That would hurt.
Extreme velocity.
On the larger ones, like they're 8 or 9 inches long, so you can talk about, you could actually lose a finger with the bigger ones. Put your finger in there and slice it straight off.
What's this place like? I mean, is it like if you misstepped, you'd fall off into the volcano or something?
No, I mean,
Okay,
no.
so it's not like people had to worry about.
There's an edge, but no, it's like this huge parking lot, with and on the very top there's a museum building, but where people go outside to view it's like a big parking lot, and I mean huge. You could fit like a few thousand people in there, and there's like some. I forgot whether they have the mounted telescopes on the edge or not. I know they have those at Volcano House, but I forgot about the Jaeger Museum that you can put a quarter in or something and look through them. But
it's not like just a curb and then you're falling off into the volcano. It sounds like there's a fence and.
There's a fence. There's a metal fence but yeah, it's a big area. It's not like everybody's pushing up against the fence, but I don't know if there's thousands of people there. That's different. But people can line up all the way around the caldera to see it. You don't just have to be at the Jaeger Museum. And there's another overlook. I don't know if they closed it down, but closer to the caldera. But they might have. I don't know if they closed that down because the road goes all the way around. It's a big circle, and there's one overlook right by the crater, and then there's another one at the Jaeger Museum that's higher up, and you can see down into it from a steeper angle. So I just don't like the idea of LEO shooting people in the back. That's all.
Right. I'm just going to show you. This is something that's not overly graphic. Now take a look at that video, and you can see what a mini quadcopter. And those are the small ones that are, not a whole lot bigger than the size of the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and they cost like $50 or something, or $100 or.
Yeah.
That
Most of
link
them are
that
under
Z
200
just
bucks.
posted talks about it being mostly sound and annoyance type of pollution restriction, so that people that go out to, in this case, Yosemite or whatever, go out there to experience the outdoors. They don't hear that bzzz flying around all day.
Yeah, that I would agree with. That pissed me off.
Yeah, somebody posted I see they clicked on the Google link for it. Yeah, that parking lot is where their people were gathering. That people were talking about the parking lot, but when you have that many people, but anyway, let's get off of that one. Where was the link? That's the YouTube.
It should go straight to the Jaeger Museum unless Google Maps is being all retarded right now.
I think the easiest way to not get shot in the back is probably not to run.
Yep. Well, there's no debate there, but people run, period, just because they do.
Yeah, but.
Well, I'm looking at this picture now. So you're saying that parking lot that's on like the left side in this picture, the left side of that building, you can see that volcano way over there from there?
Yes, and that's we have like thousands of people. Yeah, that are coming because of an event, volcanic event like is happening now. Then that's where you can see the volcano clearly from the edge there, and so that's where they were talking. That's where they said in the parking lot. So. Yeah, I didn't know they were dangerous. I see you flying them around, and they don't look dangerous. They look like some cheap plastic thing that you could knock down with a baseball bat.
Because
Quark is just reckless as shit.
Quark's a pro, man.
Children in the neighborhood are at risk every time he puts his fingers on the joystick.
Now, I will say this. Yeah, when I go out to the park to fly, I make sure there's nobody else around when I'm flying. And if I hurt myself, it's my own fault.
Yeah.
Well, there's no law against using it in the park, in a public area. Yeah.
State to
Maybe
state,
not
that
in
may
Wisconsin.
different. Yeah, that may
If
differ
it
from
has,
state
to, it
to
has
state.
to be in the, it has to be in the park rules. So I always have to check the park rule. But there is no law that says you can't fly it on public land unless there's an ordinance saying that, in this town you can't fly.
Can you drive on that Crater Rim
I'm
Drive?
almost about to ask that.
That road that goes around it? You said you can drive on that?
Yes.
Oh,
Then I would
hell
drive
yeah.
over to those other little parking lot thingies and walk way over closer to, or be way over closer to it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they. Well, if you actually go to the volcano house, you can. You used to be able to hike across the caldera, but they may have closed it down. I know they still let you hike up and down the crater rim trail, which is right just down the
That's
edge
cool.
of the caldera from and yeah, it's like the rim of the crater is like really cool because it's like got all these huge plants and stuff. But then you get down to the bottom and it's just like a black lava with black hard rock lava with steam vents coming up around it, various volcanic plants growing.
Your
Would you
crater
be
or
allowed to go
trail
down there
runs
and cook a hot
everywhere?
dog off of the earth?
You could. Well, I mean, you could.
Illegally? Are you allowed to?
Yeah. Cook a hot dog?
Yeah.
I don't know if they. Well, nobody
In
would.
2 seconds.
Well, I'd want to be able to say I ate something cooked off the earth. That'd be cool.
Well,
It's legal as
Like
long as you
popcorn
don't
or
get
something.
caught.
All
Hey,
right.
No, it's not
I
illegal.
want to give a little warning.
On a crack because no, I'm not talking about right in the caldera. I mean, right in the active volcano thing in the middle there where you see, but I mean that whole floor. If you look around, if you go over to the where Volcano House is, over to the right, over which is like east. Let's see, Crater Rim Trail. Where does it say Volcano House is?
Then I can type it in the top left and it should bring it right there.
Well, yeah,
Hey.
I know they did some work on it, but that's basically there's a little trail that goes right down to the where it says Crater Rim Trail, and it goes right down to the floor. And there's several trails that go across, and what it's like is there's a bunch of little stones. There's like a pile of 3 or 4 stones, and you just walk from the pile to the stones, and that's the path.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this: if you are any type of squeamish, turn away right now. I won't have this up very long, but this is what quadcopter damage can do to you.
Woo!
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That had to
that's
be
a
through clothes,
larger.
too.
Yeah, that's a larger quad damage. I'm talking about something that's like suitcase big.
Hey, Quark, that link that I put in, the last one that I put in is "Are drones illegal in your state or
Oh,
whatever?"
that's cool.
It says that your state, Wisconsin, has some legislation enacted. Do you happen to know what that legislation is?
It's pretty much what the federal regulations is last I looked anyway.
Let's see. Prohibits law enforcement use without a warrant, bans weaponization of unarmed. Okay.
What? Lame. I bet you in Wisconsin there's probably also a stipulation that you're not allowed to use it to steal other people's cheese.
Yeah, I
that's
don't know,
a tough-
man. That's some like death threat over there. You talk about
Here's
stealing
one of the
cheese.
other things it says in that article is that Congress passed a law 2 years ago ordering the FAA to issue national rules legalizing drones for commercial purposes by September of this year. But I also see in that article somebody got fined $10,000 in 2011.
That person was using a drone to film for commercial use.
So how much did they make from their commercial sale of the film?
If I remember correctly, it was a real estate person who was using it to survey properties.
Yes, I know a bunch of people that do that. They do that for big properties, and I've also seen companies that do it for like golf courses, so they don't have to hire the helicopter and film crew. They can usually just do it with like a 6 or an 8, not bladed, but rotors. You know, that many rotors, like 6 or 8 rotors, and like I know one of the people out here on Maui that like that's what he does when he goes back to the mainland. He does okay.
So if anybody actually went to find the volcano house and actually found it, yeah, if you see there's that trail that goes down, and it called the Crater Rim Trail, or the what is it, the Holly Manui or whatever it is trail, and it basically lets you out right in at the where it turns from jungle crater rim vegetation to just black lava. And there's a trail that goes across, and yeah, it's just like hiking from pile of stones to pile of stones, and you can hike across. And you could just cook a hot dog right out of the cracks in the lava anywhere on there. I mean, it might take you a while, but and it'll come out with tasting sulfury too.
Oh goddamn, his long legs. I put that up there just so anybody that messes around with Lay's, don't forget those are deadly machines. When I say deadly, I mean beyond deadly.
Like a metal or a wood turning lathe?
Do not
Lathe.
click on that link. Do not click on that link.
No, click on that link. Follow your heart's intent.
No.
Yes.
My uncle was a woodworker. I've worked with some of those tools before,
How
so
do we get from quadcopters to lathe?
Well, it reminded. Okay, when I was working on lathes in school,
Motors,
okay,
rotary.
I had long hair, and I almost had my long hair caught. And when I say long hair, I mean down to my ass. And now I also had a beard. My beard was about maybe half foot long, not an inch. And I got my beard hair ripped out instantaneously, like a quarter of my beard. That was enough for me to get afraid to cut my whole hair off and my entire beard off, and it stays that way to this day. So anybody that works with a lathe, you better be goddamn careful, otherwise you're going to end up real dead real fast.
any power tool, right?
No, especially a lathe. They are not, like, I don't know how to describe it to you. But yeah, any power tool can mess you up real quick. Why didn't you like that link, G-Webs?
Well, I don't need to
I
see
don't
it.
need to see this position.
Yeah, I know what happens.
I don't
Well,
think you
Google
do.
Earth has a bunch of really good panoramic shots of the crater.
Google Earth is awesome. I hate the company, but I like their product.
Yeah, I mean, well, just that link that you have from the Red Jaeger Museum, if you click on the, street views or whatever along the bottom, and it has some really good shots of it.
You may hate Google, but they are what it is allowing us to do this hangout at this exact moment.
I know, it doesn't mean I have to like them.
Truly.
And I just read...
They did create my phone's operating system, which I enjoy.
Screw them.
Well, you can look at the volcano without actually going there anyway.
Yeah, and I just read that Wisconsin law, Hawaii, or excuse me, island. And
one more time, I'm sorry.
I just read the law, the actual law, and it basically says that, police can't use it to search without a warrant, unless there's looking for an escaped criminal, an escaped prisoner, and for, weaponizing a drone, which, and the third thing is that, I couldn't use my drone with a video recorder to, say, film somebody's backyard that's fenced in, and, there are people out there. Privacy.
Violating privacy,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
some of that's common sense, and I also think that some of that is really good that they can't use it without a warrant. I think those sound okay.
Yeah. They have to have a reasonable expectation of privacy. So if you're in a freaking park, you're free game. If you're in your front yard, you're free game. If you're in your backyard, sunbathing, and it's fenced in, you're not
If
free
you're in your
game. Even
bathroom.
if it's not fenced in, you're not free game.
Now,
What about bathroom?
do you have any
On the
laws
toilet.
there about pellet air rifles being discharged within city limits? Do you have any rules about that that you know of?
Yes.
Okay, what are your rules?
It's done by town, village by village, city by city ordinance. So.
Because I knew not enough to not ask if you could discharge a firearm at it. However, it sounds like you couldn't even use an air rifle on one of those if they were violating your personal space.
Well, that,
really hard.
would that be considered a weapon? Probably.
An air rifle.
Well, no, you mean shooting it at the drone, not the drone having it on there.
Exactly. I'm talking about shooting at the drone with an air rifle as a.
Well,
not
you have to
using
be
that?
in an area where it's
You
safe to
shoot
be able
that
to discharge an air rifle.
Okay.
Like in my village, if I go across the street, I can't use an air rifle over there. On my side street, I can.
Okay.
Yet that's law that is done by sometimes county does it, sometimes it's state. State has a say, and sometimes the village can have a say. So I can go out in my backyard and go shoot all I want, as long as I'm 50 yards away from my neighbor's house.
Wow. I don't think we have those rules here, which is good.
Just because I have that right, I'm not going to go out. Don't just go. Well, it's okay for me to go shoot all around and.
No, I hear you there. I hear you there.
Take the safety procedures, having a berm, etc.
Yep. I made a couple of backstops from about a 3/4 and some tatami mats.
You guys ever heard of the quiet shotgun? It's a city legal shotgun.
What?
Yep.
Never heard of such thing.
There-
It's a shotgun by nature. It's usually not quiet.
Well, you'll see. I've seen them, and I didn't believe they were real until some guys from school brought theirs in. The barrel is so long that it's only 72 decibels or something. Yeah, there you go. Here it is. They're real too. God, ridiculously long lengths. I'm sorry.
Let's see what you got here.
You have ridiculously long legs.
What?
Yeah, and you are allowed to discharge those in the city limits to kill duck or geese or whatever. As long as it's legal. The shotgun is legal down there to do it with. Like it's approved. At least in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area.
I was just going to say, that changes state to state, maybe even city to city, potentially.
Yep.
Well, I know out by me it really doesn't matter. Like, you see it and you want to kill it, as long as your neighbors are good with it. Sheriff's good with it.
Because I'm going to go, wow, that thing is ridiculously long.
Well,
Ridiculous.
it's like a 8-foot barrel or something ridiculous.
Damn.
That's
Now,
one of the
how
only
is
guns
that-
I held up that was taller than me.
Now, wait a minute. How is that not an the I
Integral
word?
suppressor?
Yes, integrally suppressed.
Because it's not a
Well,
suppressor
'cause
by
it's not a
design. It's just a
suppressor.
long barrel.
There's a law that says you can't take and modify the report of a firearm to within, I think, 1 decibel or something. You can't change the volume of the report. But there's nothing that says you can't make a gun that doesn't have a report just because of its.
Okay. I'm a believer.
I almost just want one to have one, but oh my god, look at it.
Well, it seems like you could take out the choke and put in some sort of a thing to make a regular shotgun do that.
I don't think they have a choke.
No, I'm saying, but a regular shotgun with a choke, you take out the choke and you put in some sort of instead of a choke,
thread adapter.
massive barrel length, and then if that, along with some low recoil shot, will turn it into a low noise shotgun, that might be neat. Although unless you're shooting straight up, I don't know what good it is.
But okay, then I guess my question is, this one is made like that. If you took the choke out and you went something in those threads, wouldn't that be technically altering the firearm and lowering the decibels? Would it be one of those sticky situations, you think?
What?
Oh, I see what you're saying, because you're adding something to the end of the gun that lowers the decibels.
Right, it wasn't not
I don't
in the
know.
manner that it was
It's
created.
a baffle-less suppressor, in other words. I don't know. That's a good question. One that's interesting.
Damn, you contact the ATF with that one.
Shit.
More than likely, you're right. It would need to be permanently a long barrel.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
the
you
next
buy
thing
a
you
long
know,
barrel.
there'd be a law in the books about it if you did. So
There you go. Metro gun system, that's what it's called.
I think it's very interesting, that's for sure. I'd almost
I thought
rather
they were
have it mounted
nice.
on a swivel the swivel mount or something like that would be kind of cool. Then you got your own little mini anti-aircraft or anti-duck gun, anti-goose gun. Our
Check
geese
out
here
this.
are the state bird, though, so we can't be shooting the geese out here, unfortunately.
This
Well, we
is
now have a state mammal too.
What's your state bird?
The Ori bat. Oh, the nene is the state bird.
Yeah, that's like the Hawaii goose.
It's a goose with webbed feet, but short webbed, so it can walk on lava a lot and walk on
Yeah.
black lava.
Robin for Wisconsin.
But we have a
Lou.
new. The hoary bat is our new state mammal.
Did you see, dude, that they wanted to change the Humunuku apua'a as the state fish? They wanted to try, and there was such an outrage about it. They're like, "You're retarded."
Well, that's made famous
You
by the
retarded.
song by the little grass shack in Kealakekua, Hawaii.
Yep.
With
Yep.
Humunuku apu ahu swim on by.
I was waiting for that.
You remember
Oh, yeah.
that song?
Oh yeah, there's a song
Yes,
for
I
it.
do.
The Humunuku ahu ahu swim on by.
I haven't heard it in a
pronounced
while,
right.
but I
Did I pronounce it right there?
Close.
Close. All right.
love the picture of that little kid. It just illustrates how freaking massive that thing is.
Little kid is 6'4".
Yeah, right. Would you believe me if I told you this gun is 12 feet tall? Actually, I think the one I handled didn't even, like, when I stood it up, it almost didn't fit in the classroom, and the classroom has, like, 12-foot tall ceilings. It almost didn't fit.
Check out how long my gun is.
Right? Like, somebody whips out a Barrett, all you gotta do is get that. But then someone will come over with a tank and just be like, damn.
So if that's how long it takes to quiet down a shotgun, how long would barrel need to be to quiet down a Barrett 50 BMG?
I don't know, actually.
3-4
See, they're
miles.
different kind of loud, though, you know what I mean? One's a boom and the other's a really loud, like, crash.
Well, you know, I mean, if it's a ratio thing, I'm gonna go with at least 3 times that length. So you're talking like a 24 to 32 foot barrel on that sucker. Might, and I don't know that they
with a rifle though, because by the time you
That's a
make the
50-pound
barrel
gun.
long enough to let the sound go from sonic to subsonic again, then it might lose the energy, and the bullet might just go.
Oh, it would.
stop by
There's
friction.
a predetermined length of barrel for every caliber that, like, it'll lose velocity at.
Yeah, and I'll just stick at the end, right? So with a shotgun, it's not such a big deal because it's going to fall out of there no matter what.
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, plus you're not really shooting for accuracy so much.
You're not shooting for distance either. Accuracy maybe, distance.
Well, not with
definitely
these shotguns. You basically have to make sure that the bird is flying further away than the end of your shotgun.
Yeah, there you go. Then there's that.
What's up, Chris?
I keep shooting right past the birds.
Not much.
Just
I'm
knock 'em out.
listening to you guys trying to keep awake here driving. I pretty much almost left the road a couple of times.
Damn, stay awake. You
What,
need,
is
Fine.
it late or just you're
You need
tired?
Hawaii coffee to stay
I'm
awake.
tired.
you need I'm not going to say I know a guy, but if you need some cocaine.
He knows
I
a
don't-
guy.
That's the guy.
I don't even know what that is.
I want to be able to go to sleep tonight, okay?
Hey, man.
I was gonna say use the
Get you some
cigarette
pounders.
lighter. And say
Yeah.
the cigarette lighter, but you said you want to go to sleep tonight. That won't help with that either.
Well, just light up your cigarette lighter and stick it on your tongue. You'll be awake real quick.
I want to be able to talk, too.
Okay.
Then
Wait,
put it
sign
on your
language.
nipples.
You got sign language, don't you? Come on.
Punch yourself in the dick repeatedly. You'll be just fine.
I don't want to be immobilized.
Quit coming up with excuses, damn it.
Yep,
We're just-
exactly.
We're just here to help, Chris. We're just here to help.
You have to be better, make better suggestions.
Can you imagine the guy driving next to Z in a car while Z's getting tired? See him start punching himself in the nuts and licking cigarette lighters. And
This guy's crazy.
And I just look over and smile.
Just wave. If you really want to stay awake, get the cops to start chasing you. You'll get home even faster then. And you'll stay awake.
Speaking of cops, hold
Yeah,
on,
don't
I gotta
pull over that.
dodge some cops here.
Stand by.
They'll
Stand by.
tase you as
Stand
they
by.
drive by.
Don't take his shit, good guy. Fuck
Don't
that.
don't let him
What's
disarm
Take
the
a
you.
badge
stand
number?
against
What's
his
the
shit.
badge number?
Yeah, right.
No. I wasn't being chased by cops. There were just cops ahead of me.
Alright.
You weren't being chased yet.
You're chasing the cops.
No, fuck that. Molotov cocktail in the passenger seat.
Yep.
So I didn't make it to the end of Hank's video. What did he have to say at the end of it?
Hank
Like-
Strange? Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, the cop was like, if you give me a blowjob right now, I won't write you a ticket.
Come on now. No,
And
no,
then
no, I
Hank
saw-
Strange was like, well, it took me 10 minutes to think about it.
What
but,
the hell?
you know, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I
you
saw
didn't watch
most
it?
of the
Nothing.
video. No, I saw most of the video, but I didn't stay till the end to watch his talk about the video.
So he talked to some people in law enforcement that were in the area and people who lived there too as well.
Are we talking about the
that
Baltimore?
there was some sort of Hank Strange, and then that there was like some sort of party that happens, and they racially profile like black people because they're just like that, and that might have been part of the problem. He's not really sure 100%, and I'm not sure, but he knew that they were just doing their job. I think they wrote him a warning. I don't even think he got a ticket.
Well, he
and
did
was
have
talking
illegal.
about it.
He did have illegal tin for Florida. I did hear that much.
Right, but no, his talking part was just like, he wasn't sure if this was, racial profiling, but after talking to some people, he did believe it. He did believe that it was because of some sort of party in the area, like that happens. Like,
Well, there was a quote-unquote purge going on or whatever, right?
What do you mean? The
No, he was
party
in
the
Florida.
area? What does that
He was
mean?
in Florida, dude, when this
Oh, I thought
happened.
you were talking about Baltimore. Okay, never mind.
No. This happened to him in Florida on Easter.
no, he was talking about maybe some sort of Easter party that like a ton of people go to, and that the cops like harassed the locals in that area during that time.
So if they're hunting Easter eggs in Florida, they harass them.
Right, and that he wasn't so sure of like what but basically he was nice about it. He didn't call anybody out, and he wasn't, whatever. You didn't miss much.
Profiling is in an airport. That's what the Israelis do at the airport. They don't
Well,
make everybody
you know
go
what?
through searches. They profile everyone.
They are Israeli.
With a mohawk in a nice car in
Well,
Florida.
let me tell you, his fucking tints were so fucking dark. His tints were so fucking dark. Could you even see his haircut? I mean, like
Well,
his
no,
tints
but
look
that's-
fucking black as shit.
That's
So-
why they pulled him over, because his tints
Right.
were the tint
Illegal.
level that he had.
Ever since a teenager, all the fucking teenagers that I knew that drove, they all used to get harassed because of their fucking car systems and their tinted windows and their fluorescent lights under their car and shit like that.
Yep.
And you know what? And I knew from an early age that shit like that will
Keep it
get
on
you
your
pulled
front
over. And my girlfriend's got tinted windows too, and it's always like a big thing where she goes to go get the tints. They tell her like, okay, well, it's okay to tint your front window. It's against the law, but no one really cares. Blah, blah, like that whole bullshit of like, nah.
I'm yeah.
I have factory tinting on my Blazer, but I don't know.
Why would
Factory is always legal. They don't
Right.
do it. Like they don't go that low.
Yeah, well, there's tint on it. I mean, it's natural.
No, it's not that you can't have them tinted. There's a certain level of tint that you cannot go beyond.
They
I would
like
have
a-
no
a-
problem with factory
opacity
tint.
level or whatever, like how much you can see through them. You can have tint, you can't have limo tint. Is
Well,
what
my
they call it
lift
out here.
tint
You can have
is-
I can have limo tint on my back window and my back passenger doors, and I can have another level of tint on my passenger doors, but I can't have anything on the. No, you
Driver.
can have a stripe over the top of like where that blue part of your windshield is. I can make that limo, but I just think it's stupid.
I think every
I mean, it
state
doesn't
is
do anything
different.
from the outside and from the inside. I don't want to obstruct my view. Just I don't want.
Well,
to.
It is
It was
different.
an awesome video, but no, one thing that you missed with him just saying, he said like he felt like a responsibility to put it out there. He just wanted to put it out there, and I think we can all learn something from that video. White, black, Spanish, Asian, it don't matter. You can learn something, and it's don't get your fucking windows tinted fucking like a fucking pair of sunglasses.
It
Yeah,
is
but-
different
But
state
all
to
I'm
state,
saying is
though.
my lift gate on my Blazer on the back is so dark, and it's from the factory. You can't see anything through it, but it's from the factory. So
Usually it's the front window and your driver's side window and your windshield are usually the two windows
Yeah.
that are the issue for the
You
most
can
part.
black out the other ones. You can paint over the other ones. There's no law that you have to have a back window, so they don't care usually what your other windows are. It's just the driver and the windshield.
Yeah.
I
Well,
And
always,
if you're a
every
passenger too.
state is relatively different for the level of which your windows can be tinted.
I was literally
It
about to
matters
tell
too,
you
because
story
I'm
about
sure up north there's no real need for it except for looks. Out here, if you don't tint your windows, you're an idiot because it's
I would
gonna
say you
kill
No,
you.
die.
up here in winter, it's unbelievable. If you don't have tinted windows, the snow will
Oh, the
reflect the glare
reflection. Yeah, that's a
so
good point.
unbelievably bright. Even if you have like snow shades, it burns your eyes.
I hope he didn't go drive off the fucking road.
I'm thinking he did, because the
Damn
last
it.
thing we heard was crash bang boom.
Well, we heard cough, 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 so that must have been some shitty meth he was smoking.
Yeah, right. He needs to hook
No,
up with
but you know what's
Heisenberg.
fucked up is that I always think about this shit, and he got out of the car. They were like, walk over to our hood, you know, and put your hands on the hood, so because we have a camera here, so we can get you.
Oh, they
So
fucking
at
have.
that point, I probably would have told them right off the top. I have a concealed carry permit, and I'm, you know, here it is, and I'm carrying a weapon as well. Like once my hands were on the dash, I mean on the hood, and then, but he went back to he was walking next to the dude, on his way back to the car, and that's when he said something to him like, "Do you have any weapons on you?" And he was like, "You know, or any weapons or guns?" And he said, "Yeah, got a Glock 19." He was
No,
like
no,
already
no.
moving.
No, he said yes, and that was as he was handing or showing him his concealed carry license. Then the cop asked, well, where is it? And I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
remember, he didn't reach for it, but he like
No, no.
told. So this guy, I don't know the cop, whether he was kind of new or wasn't used to kind of dealing with this, or he was afraid of Hank. I don't know. But like he did so many things to counter his own job. Like he's like, "Oh, I want you to go put it in the car." Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm gonna disarm you. I'm gonna go put it in the car. He comes back. It's like, "Oh, hey, where's your license and registration?" Oh, it might be in the fucking glove box. Oh, well, that's kind of just where I put the fucking gun. I don't want you to go back and get it. It was
Yeah.
just
But what you don't see on the camera, which what Hank said, was that there was a ton of people. There were other officers. There were other officers' cars, and there was the sheriff himself. Not just you know like so like there was a whole bunch of people there off camera, and I'm sure that guy. You know how it is. Like if you're in front of your boss, you get nervous. It's that you know what I mean. Like so that dude might have been like in front of his supervisors, and like oh. I don't, yeah, fumbling around a little bit, and that guy was off camera. He said he even got the sheriff's card, but the actual sheriff was there on the scene.
No, it wasn't the sheriff. It was the sergeant. It was the sergeant.
Okay, the sergeant. Whatever. So big wigs were there. He said
Right.
3 or 4 patrol cars and a whole bunch of fuckers. So, but no, the whole point with what I was thinking of too is also when you know, I have used guns too. But like he was like, hey, we're gonna run your serial number and shit too. So I buy guns off the gun broker and stuff.
I would not be able to deal with that. I don't think.
It was too late. I mean, he didn't even know. Like the dude took the gun, and like he did all that shit, and then he was talking. You hear him on the CB, like or the radio, talking to somebody. Like, yeah, I'm gonna run the serial number. They ran his. They tried to make sure the permit was valid, and then they ran the serial number. And I was going to ask somebody who knew, but like, what fucking international database of stolen pistol serial numbers do you call? Like, there is none.
They can only call their state. That's it.
Okay, so their state has a serial number database.
May or may not. But more likely, it could also just be like be on the lookout for. Like, it could just be some freaking state list. That's the dangerous part. Like, they make these lists up for whatever they want. So they could say, in the name of the children, we're going to have a list of all the guns so that in case one gets stolen, we'll know.
Or one was used in some form of a crime. They might not have the serial number, but it was used by a 9mm. You know,
well, I'd even care here because I mean, shit, all guns are the same. So yeah, it's like, hey, Glock was used in a crime. Like, they're going to confiscate all Glocks? Come on.
Well, then that's what, at one point during the video, now I don't think he necessarily helped. I mean, it might have not hurt, but I don't think it helped him saying, I'm in the firearms industry. I don't know if that helped or hurt. I didn't think I would have mentioned that. I mean, I would have.
That's what I.
Well, and that was kind of what I was getting. I didn't understand.
What does he do in the firearms industry? I mean, does he like own
media?
shop? Oh,
Media relations. I would say if I was him and I wanted to say something, if they were like, "What do you do in the firearms industry?" I would be like, "Media, I guess,
My
like media
business?
relations."
My business?
Yeah.
YouTube.
I'm in the firearms industry in the United States, where I don't have to tell the police. What the fuck am I
None
doing?
ya? None ya
Right.
business. None ya?
None your business, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the none gun business.
I would never mention YouTube unless I was fucking Nuttin' Fancy or Hickok or something. Like I would never mention YouTube to a police officer as some sort of excuse for anything. Like I'm on YouTube and I'm in the firearms YouTube
That's something
community.
like Edge from Texas.
Then you pull out your video camera and say, "This is going on YouTube, so mind your manners."
Oh, I don't know if I would have done that.
You go, you work for me, and I'm putting this on YouTube.
Well, here's one of the other things. Not every state can you get the dash cam video that fast. Some states will tell you go fuck yourself. So Florida was pretty.
Say, so you know.
What?
I said Yankee has something to say. He's been trying to say it for a couple minutes.
No.
Sorry.
No, all I said was, did you see the little stir I caused on his video just by making a comment?
I like to cut in.
Well, see, Yankee's taking credit.
What did you say in his video?
All I said was, I said I'm really disgusted by the, I forget what I said, but the injustice in this video or something. I was like, how does someone have enough money to drive that fine ass car and have those fucking ghetto ass steps on their house?
Yeah, front porch.
Yeah, and all these
Get
people, and all these people were like, "Fuck you, you son of a bitch!" Fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And then finally came on and
It
goes,
could have been worse.
People were like, finally Hank Strange came on and goes, "Dudes, get a fucking grip." But I was like, "Yeah, fuck y'all."
No, I mean,
Yes,
dude, honestly.
a bunch of people I recognized comments on the video.
I'm like, I'm unsubbing you. And I'm like, oh no, don't. After all we've meant to each other, well, you're
I
not
can
gonna
handle a certain amount of criticism, but if you're gonna talk shit about my porch,
yeah.
Well, I thought Yankee could have got misconstrued for colloquialism.
Yankee misunderstood.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, and don't worry, Hank
the
Strange.
porch reference.
And
Yeah.
I will tell you, nothing cuts me deeper and makes me more unhappy than when something I say might be taken the wrong way and cause people to get upset about it.
Yes, but you understand what I'm saying, I think.
Or maybe that's what I do on purpose. I forget.
Okay, well, you may or may not have. It's plausible deniability at this stage.
It's one of those two things. I forget which it is. And then someone was like, "You're just trying to start a flame war." I was like, "What kind of pussy thinks that's a flame war comment?" I was like, if I wanted to start a flame war, I would have been more creative. I would have made fun of his hair or said his wife was too pretty for him.
You know what I heard about Hank
Nice
Strange?
car.
He doesn't have a nice porch.
That porch was awful.
Yeah,
See the porch? It was awful.
I laughed at it because, yes, that is a nice car, and yeah, when I looked at it and I remembered seeing the porch, I'm like, well, I kind of see his point.
No, I have nothing to do.
Well,
I'm not
your
gonna
car
say
is worth
anything
more
crazy.
than your house.
Well, the house,
Yeah, that's something you could have probably said that
the
would
house
have pissed me off more.
well kept. It was just like they put his house up, and he's like, they're like, "Oh, for another $100, we'll put up a porch." He's like, "Fuck you, I'll make my own," and then that's what happened.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
was
it
a
looked like
trailer park.
I thought his neighbor would be the dude from like Swamp People who's like, "Shoot him, Elizabeth! Shoot him! Shoot him, Elizabeth!"
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's what it looked like. It looked like a
trailer
step
park
away from
boys.
Swamp People, man. I know
Oh,
I
that.
haven't seen his porch or his house.
I
or the
already liked
video.
Hank Strange before I ever met him because he was Edge's. He was like the bane of Edge's existence there for a while. So that was enough reason to like him alone.
Oh,
But
he still is.
He's
still
like
is.
25,000 subs now. It's different.
That
But when
has
he had
not-
like 5,000 subs, Edge used to be like, "Oh man, this guy just came out of nowhere, man! Like just went to
But
With
now
the SHOT
after
Show?
meeting him a couple of times, I actually like him as a person.
Well, that's good.
I don't think Edge. Yeah, Edge doesn't have a problem with him. That SHOT Show where
And
where
you're
Hank
saying,
Strange
like,
came out of
as a
nowhere,
person,
kind
or
of
Hank
like
Strange as a person?
he fucking came out of nowhere. That's no.
The first time I heard of
exaggeration.
Hank Strange was just recently, and then all of a sudden he's kind of blowing up.
It
Oh, no,
seems
that
Edge
SHOT
may
show-
not feel that Hank has paid his dues. I think was
Fuck.
part of the issue.
Fuck that. He paid his ticket and hotel to SHOT Show, whatever year that was, and he fucking killed it. And
Hey,
you
I'm
know,
not
he just.
saying me, bro. I'm not
I
saying
know,
me.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm saying he just fucking. The other dude who I forgot your name already, but like the guy. No, he did. You just heard about him recently, but I think most people just heard about him when he went to SHOT Show like 2 years ago. and he just was like he did mad fucking videos in like 2 days. So.
It was last year.
Just
It
so
was
you
last
remember, the name is Jacques, like Cousteau.
Jacques? Okay.
Jacques.
I'm not. I don't have. I'm on my phone, so I can't see anyone's.
All right.
Like
Jacques. Jacques.
Jacques. Okay.
Like
I'm cool with
Jacques.
I'm down with Jacques.
Jacques
I'm down with Jacques.
Lecoq.
I'm down with Jacques.
All right.
No,
Quark,
Quark,
no.
that is not what I was saying, Quark.
Anyway. No. So what else was there? So he ran his serial number. He was doing stupid shit. He had him sitting there the whole time on the camera.
Well, yeah, for like 7 minutes, he sits there on the hood, and this is right after they grab his gun from him.
Man, it's like turned into an episode of Cops for a second there with the
Yeah.
hey.
Did you see it right at the beginning of the video?
Don't put your hands
Video
below the
goes
hood and
wrong.
all that.
Well, they're just make sure they keep their authority over him. That's pretty much it.
See, now,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
would have arrested him. They would have arrested him. It would have been just like Cops, the TV show, if he would have had his shirt off. See, they would have had to have arrested him if that would have happened.
I mean, it's a black man driving a nice car if you're going to miscegenate.
No. Anybody that ever is on Cops that has their shirt off gets arrested. Haven't you ever noticed that? The easiest way to get arrested on Cops is to have
Man.
No, that's a sick-ass I didn't know he drove a Challenger, especially one that nice.
Well, I was glad that he didn't get cuffed and stuffed, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was glad about. I was also glad that I didn't hear any, oh, well, check out this fella right over here in this fancy there sports car. I was glad I didn't hear none of that.
They're well aware they're on camera, and they're well aware that they're
That's
being
exactly
listened.
it.
You know, what I mean, so they're
Yeah,
not
but
saying
as you know, it still can happen, even
hell
with
yeah.
video.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
So
know what
my
happened.
thing is
car
that-
just lit on fire. I don't know what happened.
It's my nightmare is that
I just woke up
some
and I was in the
fucking
ditch
rookie, some fucking rookie fucker is going to be like, don't take it out. I'm going to take it out, okay?
Well,
I'm going to take it
saw
out
that,
of your
right?
holster and then fucking legs you right there on the spot.
You
And you
saw
fucking
they
bleed
backed
out
up.
looking at a
That'd make a
23-year-old
great
rookie
show. You ought to
fucker.
just do massive FOIA and pull every cop video in the nation and then sort through it for stuff that you could edit together for a good show called like
Okay.
Bad Cops.
You guys saw how as soon as he like reached for that gun, they almost drew their guns.
Well,
I don't blame him. I'm just saying, like, people need to realize if you're dealing with a cop, keep your hands up. Period.
if you tell them you have a gun,
But
they
you
are
did.
going to be nervous to start with. Not
Well,
all
yeah.
of them. Obviously, this guy, because he changed his tone of voice and everything. Like, it almost cracked a little bit, like Peter Brady kind of a thing. And then he was, like I said, like G-Webs actually kind of said, if he had other people there watching him, maybe he fumbled a little bit or whatever. Because the fact that he said, oh, we're going to put the gun over here. Oh, but wait, where's your license and registration? Oh, it's right there. Well, I don't want you going back to get it. Like, that was one of the recurring themes. I don't want you to have your gun, basically, was what
Well,
one
and
of the
he's like,
recurring
if you go to put it on the seat, I'm going to take it as an act of aggression, which it's a good thing you said that, but at the same time, like
Like,
you really think he's going to do it?
basically, that cop told him, I will fucking shoot you. That's To me, that's what he's said. And then the other guy that I'm with, he will shoot you too.
Well, that's basically what he said, but in legal terms, like, that are non-threatening.
Yes, I will admit, as much fumbling as the one cop was doing, it seemed like the other cop was either watching the rookie or whatever, because he didn't laugh. He was ready for
Not openly.
Well, he was going to do whatever he was going to do, right? But it didn't. Other than some of the fumbles, it seemed like they were just kind of trying to do their job. They were just kind of maybe going about it the wrong way. Or maybe not the best way.
Seems to me like they need some training on how to handle somebody with a concealed carry permit because they have no clue how to.
Well, hell yeah, they should if they
the
don't,
thing
because it's the biggest.
The thing is, Florida, right? This happens in Florida, right?
Right, truly.
Well, first state trooper in Florida, you get to take a lot of extra precautions because every other asshole who might just be like, oh, my tail light was out. Well, that's a shame. Blam, 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 because I got 50 pounds of coke in the trunk and I'm trafficking it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so you get to be a little more extra cautious when you're in Florida.
These were like local. These were local sheriffs or something. But no, I totally agree. Like that, the Florida drug trade. You know, what do they call it? The drug fucking pipeline or whatever. I mean,
when I was on State Road, I worked. You know, we worked I-64, went right up through, and the traffic trade went from Florida all the way up to Maryland and all the other areas through that highway. And if you pulled over a car that had Florida tags, you were extra careful.
Would you have preferred, like, I would almost be preferred I would prefer if they were like, okay, so I'm going to, when they say like, don't go for the gun, I'm going to take the gun out of your holster. I would prefer to be handcuffed and just leave my fucking gun in my, like, just cuff me until we're done, and then fucking let me go, because,
if it was,
maybe not.
and this is the way I would handle that. If I had got them out of the car, if they were still in the car, I would say, where is your gun? If they say it's on my hip, I would do, as most officers have said to me, I'm not in that situation, they do it right, I would have said, leave it there and keep your hands on the wheel. That's the correct way, I think, to deal with that. If I had them out of the car and they said, I have a gun on me, I would say, where is it? If they said it was on your hip, I would say, put your hands on your head, turn around, I'm going to care, where is your gun, what kind of holster is it in, and what gun is it? And then once they told me that, I would say, okay, turn around, put your hands on your head, I will remove your gun from your holster. I want you to open your trunk, and I will place the gun in your trunk.
Yep. Well, we don't have any right to make them open their trunk just because they have a gun.
Yes, you do.
That's where the coke at.
Yeah.
Then you're going to see all that coke.
You're right with an automobile. You have almost carte blanche right with an automobile in this country.
Yep.
So
when they ask just to consent to a search, they don't have to. Cause they can just.
I can say, do you submit to a search? And if they say no, I can detain them until I decide I have reason to search. Because with an automobile, courts have already determined that since they can easily move that vehicle out of the jurisdiction, you have the right to detain it.
Wait. Yankee, that's a good point. That's a great point. I just thought of.
Bring a dog to sniff to just rule out any possibility that you don't have, like that you've exhausted your abilities to determine if there's precedence or whatever it's called.
I'm just curious. So Yankee, if you pulled somebody over
till doomsday, and they don't have to consent to a search.
Well, no, it's up to 24 hours.
But dude, this happened to my friend. It doesn't matter if they have probable cause to search your fucking car. Like if they smelled weed or smelled beer on your breath, then it's a wrap, right? I mean, it's get out of the fucking car.
As a state trooper, all I'd have to say is I believed that I smelled liquor on his breath, and I wanted to determine if there were empties in his vehicle.
Yep. And would you lie about that? I mean,
all I'd have to do.
No, you fight that in court. You don't fight it on the street. You fight that in court.
And in court, you'd even lose it. The judge would say, the officer said he believed you had alcohol on your breath. He had the right to search your vehicle.
A cop's word always carries more weight.
I saw this DWI lawyer at a red light, and his license plate said call 1-800-DRUNK-LAWYER or something. I'll beat the case. And then it said underneath that, it said, refuse all tests. Because now they do a fucking blood test.
Well,
you should. Some places can
refuse all tests because the chances are they can give you a test against your will, a blood test against your will. But in 90% of cases, you won't get it in a timely manner, so a lawyer will still be able to fight it in court because they'll be able to use that. There's a scale, I forget what it's called, like the Coors scale or something, of impairment. And if they test you 40 minutes later, they can actually argue in court, at the time he was driving, he was not as impaired as his test. So you got two things that can help you. Either the test will show you are impaired if they do it quick enough, and you can use the argument of, because of this scale of impairment, they could have been, at this stage, not impaired when they were driving. And you can use that as legal defense. But usually, by the time they get all their paperwork together and get you to a hospital, and the hospital actually has a free man to do the test, you've come down enough that you're not impaired anymore.
How do we get from illegal
searches? That's an awesome
to
thing to know, because honestly, nowadays it's so frightening. When I was younger, I don't know if they've lowered the blood alcohol, but when I was younger, I think it was me and my family would go out, say for a special occasion, and we'd have wine at dinner. If I had 2 glasses of wine at dinner with steak, mashed potatoes, and all that shit, right? I could go home legally. And I think nowadays it's not the case. Like if you have 2 glasses of wine within an hour with big dinner, and you're not even buzzed, but they can get you. Like they can say, okay, well you're at the legal limiters.
Everything depends on the cop you're dealing with too, because up here there's a lot of people I know that have been pulled over with, bunch of alcohol, just bunch of crap in their trunk or in the car while they're drinking that they shouldn't have, and the cop will just be like, "What do you guys got? What do you da da da?"
Here's the
If they like the beer, they'd keep it. If they didn't, they'd dump it out, and they'd usually just give you a warning.
I wouldn't dare. Like nowadays, I'm so scared of where I live because I know, like I just told you, I see people at red lights who like refuse all tests on their car. It's such a thing here.
It is a good idea to use all tests, but here's the thing. Here's the thing too. Here's the stupidest thing, and I've seen people do it. They'll just in like their casual thing. They're like, "I haven't been doing anything. You can test me if you want," thinking that'll make you let them go. And then you're like, "Oh, okay. You just consented to the test."
You just consent to every test.
Well, I said
now
that
I
once
just don't
to a cop, but it was because I wasn't drunk.
You're right.
I just don't drink when I'm out. I'm just so terrified.
I practically dared him to
I've known many
test me. He's like,
cases
"Yeah, go ahead, test me right now." I mean, I didn't have anything to drink. Go ahead.
I know
Yeah,
many
test
people
me right
that
now.
I know many cases where troopers had someone pulled over. They were they were unsure because a lot of times you're unsure. You're like, is this person just not a bright guy, and he just seems a little drunk because he's not a bright guy, or actually is he impaired? Is he not impaired? And you don't know. But I've known so many cases where the people would say, "Well, test me," and they'll test them, and the trooper will then arrest them. Where the trooper, if they hadn't have said that, would have let them go because it was on the fence.
Well, like here, if you refuse the test, you can end up losing your license because that's one of the things we've done.
Yeah.
You don't even need a license for the state of
A lawyer
Hawaii.
can get it back. That's the point. Like a
can
good lawyer should be able to get it back.
If
State
in this,
you get a license in another state and drive it in Hawaii. You don't need to have a Hawaii driver's license.
in this state, if you get caught without a license on your person, they can take you to jail.
It doesn't have to be a Hawaii license. It could be a Wyoming license. It could be a Florida license. It could
I'm
be
just saying, if you don't have one, they can.
Guam license. It could be a license from Guam.
There are states that require you have a means to identify.
You don't even have to have our CCW. We got the Dog Ate My CCW bill passed a few years ago, so back when we still have to have them. So if you didn't have your CCW, you had 24 hours or more. You had a week, I think, to show it to them.
Because I had to go to court to fight something, and the officer had mislabeled the ticket, and he had circled didn't have the license on me. So the bailiff, he's like, "Hey, you need a lawyer." I'm like, "What are you talking about here, dude? I got my insurance card right here."
That's what usually work out because they'll do that with the insurance. You get a ticket for not having proof of insurance with you. If you do show up in court and show your insurance, and it was good at the time of the ticket, they dismiss the ticket.
Right,
yeah, they do that here.
But the cop had circled the wrong thing on the ticket. He had circled didn't have a license, not didn't have insurance. So I had to go talk to the public defender. I came back in. I had to have the public defender do my talking for me, and I almost got out of line in front of the judge because I said, "Well, he circled the wrong thing." After the pleasantries and answering whatever questions I was asked, I kind of shut the fuck up, and I did.
If you did something wrong on the form, it would invalidate the form. If they did something wrong on the form, it should make it so that
I got a ticket once that was the handwriting was so bad nobody could read it. And so they threw the case out.
Yeah, I got a ticket thrown out once because I got pulled over, and I kind of hated to get out of the ticket because the guy was nice to me because I was doing a speed that would have been considered reckless driving. I was doing like 104 miles an hour. He could have taken me in right then and there. It was a 65-mile-an-hour zone, so he said, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to write down that you were doing 84. That way you're under 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. You won't go to jail." I was like, "Great, that's fine." He only did that because I had ID on me to show that I had been law enforcement. I was no longer law enforcement at that time, but I had been law enforcement. So he did me that favor, and then he handed me the ticket, and I'm like an idiot. I said, "You wrote down the wrong state on my license plate." And he said, "What?" I said, "You wrote down the wrong state." Because we were in Tennessee, but I was from Alabama. So I was like, "See you in court," and took off.
Well, and that was the thing.
I had a lot of people already heard this, but yeah, I got out of a ticket because, well, first I saw it in there. It says I was going 10 over the speed limit, but he charged me for 11 to 15.
Yeah.
I was gonna fight that, but the guy probably thought he probably remembered that he screwed up and didn't show.
I got out of a ticket once because the cop who wrote the ticket got run over.
Ooh,
He was he couldn't.
technicality. That's
Wait,
amazing.
are
He
you
was-
admitting that you put
he
a
was
hit
mad.
out on a cop just because you got a ticket?
Yeah, that's not
Are you
good.
admitting to assassinating a cop to get out of a ticket?
I didn't kill him. I know he was in a traffic accident and he couldn't make it to court because he's in the hospital.
Sure.
So I was in court and they said, "Oh, you're gonna win this case because the other officer was in a traffic accident." And
Oh, I know.
so naturally, like an idiot, I stood up and cheered.
When you're talking about the cop didn't show up, when I was in school, when I was a long time ago, I was in school and I took some cop classes, and they told us about how one of his tricks, this guy's tricks, was to write a little note on the back for himself. And basically, if the guy was a dick, he was going to show up in court, and he would make a little note for himself. So if he could look at his tickets that day and go, "Yeah, everybody was cool," he just won't show up.
If they put us,
And if it was one of those days where he was like, "Uh-oh, I'm definitely showing up," and this guy's doing it, he's getting full book.
a lot of our officers would put like a little star up in the corner, and if you had a star up in the corner of your ticket, you knew your cop was, he was showing up for the trial that day. I had a
Everything depends on the cop.
I had a lawyer friend tell me once, and I'm not sure
Because
how,
I was saying it depends on your interaction. So if you can get away, obviously, without being a dick, then it might be to your advantage. Because if he does have leeway, and even if he writes you the ticket, you might have to, it might not be as bad. If you're not a dick.
I had a lawyer friend tell me not too long ago, and I'm not sure how how true this is, but he told me this, and his attorney, he said that he can get anybody out of a ticket. All he does is there are reasons you can request a change of venue or a change of date for your trial, and there are certain reasons that are valid for that. And he said and they don't ever check your reasons to see if it's true, and they almost never check with the officer to see is that one of your court dates. They'll just like switch it to like 2 days later, and then he won't even be there. He won't even know to be there.
Oh, that's nice. So in other words, you're just like, "Oh, I got a super important thing that day. Can I do it 2 days later?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, sure."
You're like, my wife just passed away, and I can't make it to court tomorrow.
You're allowed one postponement legally,
Yeah.
so always take a postponement without exception.
That's a good idea. Because if the cop ain't just parked at the the court, then he's probably out on the road or doing something, or his day off or something.
Yep.
Interesting.
I did not know that. Thank you.
Or you
See,
can find out
watch
where he
out.
lives and just put a nail under his tire right before the court so he can fix
No.
up the tire.
Pretty sure it's a federal felony.
Send a drone.
Only if they find out.
Send the drone. Corpse drone.
The drone.
Our nails
Or
considered
drone.
arming it.
So at this point,
this
I
is a
think.
warning.
So that's like when I first started CCW carrying a firearm legally and all that stuff, or illegally, but not legally. But no, the first time I would think about stuff like that. Like if a cop, when Hank Strange was sitting there and the guy took the gun out of his holster, I would be so scared that like
I saw
somebody's
his
gonna
face.
shoot me in the fucking
I
leg.
had the face too. He was all concerned about it.
No, I'm
I
just
had a
scared that
state-
someone's
an
not
Arizona
going to
state
have.
cop took my 357 out of my pants pocket holster.
That would be sketchy.
Yeah, it was scary shit. I didn't like that. It was like you say, because I'm like, it's in a holster. Like, do not squeeze
pocket.
anything in there. But he wouldn't let me pull it out. I'm like, dude, I'm going to pull it out.
No, well, you
No,
should have said,
I'm
you
gonna
should have
pull
said, don't squeeze anything in my pocket unless it'll get me out of this ticket.
No, I was
There you
seriously, I was not digging the idea of some guy who didn't know what a gun was reaching in my pocket, literally in my pocket, to bring out my 357.
That's like that's
Aiming
odd.
right at your balls.
Seriously.
Well,
Well,
the other thing was
or whatever, but yeah, that would suck ass getting shot.
I have
by a gun.
holsters.
That's okay.
Most of my holsters have clips on them, and I would prefer if they just. I could tell them like,
Snap.
okay, you don't need to take the gun out of the holster. You could just take the whole holster away.
Yeah,
take the
that's what I
whole-
tried to tell him too. Like, you can take the whole thing out, like just reach in there. But by the time I was trying to say anything, it was already out.
He was just like, "Shut up, kid."
I doubt they'll even do it.
Speaking
I
of
could see the pocket holster
Maybe
going.
that's a reason to wear skinny jeans, because then they wouldn't be able to get their hand in there.
Speaking of pocket holsters, I found out today that's how my little brother carries, and I didn't even know he carried, but he found me on YouTube. And he's like, holy fuck, that's my brother.
That's awesome.
This was only like the second time we've talked in 20 years, but he called me and talked to me for like 2 hours today because he saw me.
Second time you talked in 20 years and he was trolling you on a video.
No, I never commented on the video. I don't know why, but he should have at least said, "Hey, that's my brother."
You told him,
pretty
don't
cool.
pocket carry a 1911. Like, I'm pocket carrying a 1911. Is that a good idea? I'm not sure.
I got my Jinkos.
He pocket carries a Smith & Wesson shield. He carries a Smith & Wesson shield. He's not a little guy. He's about my height, maybe a little shorter than me, but he's a thicker guy. He's like 245. And he always wears cargo pants, he said.
I'm sorry, what are you carrying again?
A shield and a pocket holster.
That must be some loose pants.
Oh my God!
No,
Jeff, I
not
made it
really.
home.
I can carry my shield in my pocket with blue jeans.
It must have been big pants then, because I can't carry a shield in my pocket.
I can't even.
Well, I'm 6'6", dude.
I couldn't carry a sea camp in my front pocket. My pockets are full of me.
See, different people, different physicalities, I guess.
I can barely get my
Your pockets are full of meat.
What, me? They're full of me. When I'm
Full of him.
Carrying around steak.
When I'm wearing jeans, I can barely get my hands in my front. Like getting my cell phone out of my front pocket is an ordeal.
Stop wearing your wife's jeans.
I don't wear women's jeans. They fit. I wear my clothes to fit.
Don't you talk crap about my sequins.
Underwear.
Men's pants are a lot like women's bras.
That's why I like my Jordache.
If you took
George.
They did the thing. Remember when Oprah did the thing about the
I
women's
used
bra?
to have guys Jordashes back in the 70s.
I wore Jordashes. But remember when Oprah did that thing about women's bras and how they don't know the right size? Well, not too long afterwards, later, another one of the TV shows did the thing about men's pants. They pulled in like 50 men off the street and measured them for pants, and almost every one of them were wearing pants 3 inches too big around the waist, 2 inches too long, and way too big in the seat and leg.
See, but where they concealed carrying?
Because
Because
then
then it would be
my pants.
Yeah, don't tell me how to wear my pants.
I bet you they don't go around karate chopping people in the Adam's apple all day, so they don't
You
know
never
what
know.
pants need to be able to do. Or high kicking people in the Adam's apple.
How are your pants affecting your karate chops? Well, I guess if your pants were too tight, it wouldn't be comfortable to go around karate chop people.
Well, just buy them a size too big for concealed carry. That's about it.
When was the last time anybody here kicked anybody in the Adam's apple?
I wear a 33, 34, and that's what I wear. I wear the size I wear.
Not me. I can't do that. At least not when I carry. Well,
I can squeeze
it's
it.
all
Splits,
take
then
that
they're
back.
not-
It's
then they're
every
too
day.
tight.
Take it back.
I could squeeze into a 32 again now if I wanted to, but I wouldn't be able to like bend over or bend to my knees.
I have trouble finding clothes in my size period, so.
I got a big ass. That's my problem.
Well, we covered pants. That's a good topic.
Actually, it is.
I posted a video of me shooting that 30-06.
Right on. You shooting this weekend?
Not this weekend, no. I gotta get a few things done. Why? Are you available this weekend?
It could be. I figure we should meet up at some point here.
Yeah,
Assuming
because
you-
I need to pay you. I got
But if you're
money
not
burning in
shooting,
my
you can do
pocket,
it
so-
whenever. You can't shoot during the week, right?
No, I can't shoot during the week. No, it's just that I don't want to. Yeah, right now, I need to figure out the best combination for that because I was shooting that at 100 yards and I was like everywhere. So
Really? Oh, what, you're the 30-06?
yeah,
Huh.
50 yards I was better, but at the 100 yards I need to figure out what's going on.
It's still just shifting zero.
Plugging that plate, though, that was
The
what,
best combination
out
would
of 300?
The best combination would probably be to combine that gun with someone that can actually shoot.
Still Yankee.
Yeah, find me that someone Yankee. I don't know who. So
That's why I got
Flinkster.
but the 30-30 still is perfect. That
It's an old Marlin.
Yep, that one I can get 100 at 100 yards perfect. I realize now that I need to slow down my lead bullets. So
Oh, are they starting to split?
No, they're just not accurate. I maxed the powder on it, and it's not as accurate.
Oh, it's too fast, man.
Yeah. So I need to.
I can't wait to start reloading for a rifle. That's it. That seems like it's just super.
It's a challenge, man. You gotta figure
Exactly.
it out. I have to buy a whole new mold for my 3030 because the shape
You
of
do the molding and all that though.
because the shape of the what do you call this the shape of the chamber for the Marlin is sloped, a little bit more sloped than the bullets I'm using. So that's why my bullets are having a hard time going in there.
Oh.
So, I am buying like nozzlers for the 30-06 though, so I am splurging a little bit on buying like premium bullets.
Those are awesome bullets though.
Yep.
Well, wait, which ones are you getting? The total copper ones or what?
Yes.
Yeah, those things are sweet. Those are the ones we sell a 10-pack of at Cabela's. I want to try them.
These are only 20 bucks for 20 bucks for 50.
100, right? Oh, 50.
They got a
50.
plastic tip then?
Yeah, it's got plastic tip. Yep. Yeah, let me see if I have one that's open up.
I like that picture of the dead or alive chick in the background.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's my homemade poster testing. I just basically cobbled together like printed 4 different sections of a picture and paste them together on a cardboard.
Nice.
So this is the bullet itself right here. It's a plastic green tip, solid.
But those should be all right with a full charge, right? That was your.
Oh yeah, these are fine. These
you
things
were having a
fly.
problem with?
They have no max limit. I saw a chart the other day where it explains every nozzler bullet. There's those and the one with the black tip and the solid copper have no limit.
Yeah, these things fly perfectly. These things are the closest I'm getting at 100 yards together at around 5 MO.
Yeah, but, okay, you had your own lead castings, is what you were going all over the place with?
Yeah, my lead
Okay.
castings were going left and like everywhere, like 15 inch group. I mentioned the other day. It's like I have at 100 yards. I am able to assassinate Godzilla.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right. By the way, I'm glad to hear you're doing better, Chris, over that cold or whatever it was. So.
Oh yeah, I mean Well, first the rifle had to be fixed. I got that fixed. Now the scope is working fine. Oh yeah, somebody posted on my video there. You need to lower that scope down. And of course, G-Webs and I says the bolt's too high. And people keep saying you need to build up. You need to bend that bolt down. Then
You can do a lot, but...
Well, you can bend the bolt. I just decided to... I thought I could put it back to normal configuration potentially, so I didn't want to bend the bolt over. But usually they just heat up the bolt and bend it. You can
Yeah,
take it
there's
to
a
the shop,
special
They usually
jig.
charge you like $20 for that. It's not real
Yeah,
difficult.
you can do that, but why? You can always take the scope off later or put another scope on,
Well, because it's got super high scope rings. Like I literally had to look all around to get those really high ones so that the bolt wouldn't smack into the scope. So if you
But if it works,
bend the bolt...
what I'm saying is the scope is a temporary thing. The bending the bolt is a permanent.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah,
bend the
I do
bolt
that
just so
either.
you can put a lower scope rings on, and then if you change the scope, you don't need to bend it anymore. It seems kind of pointless.
They don't look any higher if you had like iron sights on that too for the peep through or see through sight. Or
I need to get front sights
scope
too
rings.
because that thing doesn't have front sights.
Yeah, it's just got the dovetail up front.
You don't need them.
Not
Front
really.
sight's overrated.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Front sights, rear sights.
Rear sight. Yeah, rear sight's where it's at.
Yeah, I don't have a.
Be able to use the force to tell where they're going to fire.
Close your eyes and shoot.
This
Oh,
feels
my.
right.
Every time.
I mean, there is a certain. I do practice from the hip at the range. I'm sure everybody does.
No. Unless I'm lying on
Shooting
my head.
rifles from the hip? No.
No, pistols. I practice with pistols from the hip all the time.
No,
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I tried that for the first time the other day. Like right up on the target where you just can't your gun real quick and empty it.
I always
point
put,
blank.
I only put the target at like 15 feet, and then I practice shooting from my hip.
I'll
Like
shoot my AK from the hip.
That is badass. For anyone
No.
who's never done it.
If you want to clear a
I'd
room.
shoot a gun with a laser from the hip, but not a regular gun.
No, I do
You
it.
can't
So
use a laser.
I do it with my carry gun, so that I'd get kind of a feel for if I ever had to pull my gun and just shoot the person in front of me without ever. Then I couldn't get my gun at arm's length fast enough. I want to be able to do it. And plus, if I ever have to Han Solo somebody, you want to know where your bullet's pointing.
It's too much guesswork, man.
Greedo shot first.
It's too much guesswork.
What did you say?
Use the Force.
Greedo shot first.
No, Greedo did not shoot first.
Greedo shot first.
No, he did not. Han Solo shot first.
Anyone want to take a $10 bet they make Han Solo shoot somebody first in this movie coming up? Just to piss George Lucas off?
Wait,
George
what's the
Lucas
deal?
got $10
Lucas said
million.
that
He don't
Greedo
care.
shot first.
Yeah, Lucas went back and re-edited the movie, and if there's no way to watch the original version where Hans just shot the fucker at the bar. Right?
Yeah, he was talking about turning Han
laser disc.
Yeah. He was talking about turning Han over to Jabba, and then Han shot him.
And there's no way to watch that original version right now,
Probably
unless
is.
you have an
Yeah,
older
there is.
Laserdisc, right?
The Laserdisc
Or
or
the
those
VHS.
huge
Laserdisc.
No,
or
I don't think it
still
ever
VHS?
came out. Did it come out on VHS? Because I remember my whole childhood waiting for that to come out.
I don't know. I've got the original VHS compilation that came out when the trilogy was first released on VHS. I've still got it in the packaging.
Okay, so that might have Han shooting first. Yeah, obviously.
I'm not going to open it and see. Because even if I opened the package to see, I wouldn't be able to see.
The value.
I don't have a VHS player.
Oh, be proud of yourself. Be proud. Very proud.
I still have a VHS player from
You got like 3 of them.
1994. It still works.
Chris, that's because
That's like saying I still
it
have.
works and you need something to watch your porn on.
That's like saying I still have a CD drive on my computer. No one.
I
has
do.
Yeah,
I was about to say, I got
analog tape deck.
Well, no, it's not CD. It's it's DVD. But yeah.
CD/D, yeah.
I have Blu-ray and DVD. So
2-inch.
No, I
24
still
track
really don't like
analog.
the idea.
None of my computers have any type of CD or DVD capabilities anymore. They are all hard media.
I have a Mac Plus.
I have 2 of those that I'm going to shoot up the next time I go to my buddy's cabin with a CD drive in them because they don't work anymore.
But no, I mean, I'm a Mac guy, and my MacBook Pro was one of the last ones with the CD slot, right? So it was like, so now the new one, you know, there's no startup disk unless the disk is partitioned. But if your hard drive is completely bad and you can't afford one of the solid state ones, and you don't have an internet connection, you're just fucking fucked, right? Where do they send you a jump drive, like a little USB with
the expert bar.
Oh, there you go, Genius Bar.
Genius Bar.
Genius bar.
Yeah, you have to set up an appointment. Come back the next week. Yep.
Oh yeah, I got so pissed at them not too long ago. We bought one of the very first iPhone 6s and it bent.
Yep.
And I took it back and I called them to make an appointment to take it back and get another one, etc. Walk in the store for our appointment and they go, "Oh, great, but we don't have any here right now. We just gave out the last one, so we're going to." I'm like, motherfucker. I was like, I just made an appointment. You knew I was coming. You knew why I was coming for. You should have put one aside for me. I ended up walking out with one that day, so obviously they had one somewhere, but they didn't have one for me at that point.
I haven't used a startup disk on a Mac since 2002.
My computer don't even have nothing. I've got the Mac Mini. There's no disk spot on it anymore. They used to be, not anymore.
What do you do?
feel
You
fine
just
if
use
I have a
cloud for
solid state
everything?
drive.
At some point, we're just going to go from computers and switch to just phones, I think.
Well,
now
I
the
doubt
new
that.
Macs have the solid state drives, and those solid state drives are never supposed to fail, right?
They
ever.
don't.
Oh, come
They
on.
just
Or
don't.
all the
No,
tests
they don't
that
fail.
I've ever seen, they have not failed at all.
They do not fail, and unless you got a virus or something to completely fuck you over.
well, because
you know,
there's no moving parts. That's why.
No, yeah, exactly. For
They
me,
are
when
the
I
future.
I've had memory cards glitch out and not work, so why would it
Really?
be different with a hard drive?
it shouldn't be.
Well,
I've had,
it's
like,
not
solid
going to feel like in a mechanical sense. It's going to feel like in a temperature or
Physical sense, yeah.
what do they call this? Dust. And you know,
No.
you get like these. Sometimes you get short. Things happen. So
But a short. So no,
Chips go
it can't. No, man, like your cheap memory stick might have broke, but if you take the part that has the data on there, unless
No,
it cracked in
I'm
half.
saying in my phones, I've had the micro SDs that you shove in your phones. I've had 3 of those corrupt in the phone, kill pictures, and I've taken out, put it into computers, tried to do recovery, nothing.
Yeah, but that's usually not because the memory itself failed. That's because the interface with the phone failed, and the interface with the failed phone fucked up the memory on the chip.
Yep. And the
Well,
solid
then
state drive is
recovery
different.
things can't find them, so...
Well, no, it deletes it. Your phone will actually fucking send the wrong signal or the wrong charge or the charge on the wrong little pin, and it will wipe everything off.
All right, then that's a fail, and you guys are saying that it can't fail. So what's the difference between the
card is
computer
still
sending
good.
it the wrong charge?
Well, the failing of the needle and the disc and the
Well, I agree
movement,
with
and
you
then
there. There's less potential for a problem.
and I've sent drives away to get fixed from like disk saver and all that shit and stuff that mattered on there that like was worth a lot of money to somebody, and they just couldn't do it, because of the way that disk was. Where I feel like if you sent a memory card away to get fixed, like they'll fix it because.
Was that because you guys used to scratch your hard drives?
What pisses me off is that my phone got
Like
bricked.
you would scratch a record, Like,
We used to have these things called, I know maybe Hawaiian knows, but the glyph drives from back in the day that had like the fucking Benzie box pullout, and there was a certain sequence, like if you just pulled one of those glyph hard drives out of those machines,
oh man,
you would fucking fuck it all up bad, and then, I don't know, I mean, stuff used to happen, like, with those hard drives. And, I'd have, like, really angry fuckers wanting to kill me because, their drive wouldn't work. And that was, like, their entire career of music was on this, like, fucking glyph drive. But,
Glyph drive? What do you mean? One of those rack mount drives? Or
Exactly. Yep. And I've had those things, I'd send them away, and they'd be like, well, I would lie to them and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to find, come back in, 2 weeks and 3 weeks or whatever. But no.
Yeah, well, that's.
But solid state should be quicker and should not have failures like that.
Solid state has failures. I mean, I haven't tried. Chips go bad, circuits go bad, transistors go bad, capacitors go bad,
No. I mean solid state hard drives.
What do you think?
Just the drive, just
made out of?
All these new Mac.
I don't know about solid state.
Fail.
All these new Mac drives, all these new Mac hard drives are fucking 200 gigabyte solid state drives with no moving parts. It's just like a gigantic memory stick.
But I know my phone locked up this fucking week, and I hate it because I lost so many fucking pictures and so much stuff that went on my card, and I'm so mad. But the worst thing is I have to send the phone back to them without being able to delete everything on it. So I'm going to have to put a little note in the box that says, if in some way you got this phone working, don't look at the pictures. Just delete it.
Well, you can solve that by driving a stake through it or something, no?
No, I can't damage it. I got to send it back the way it is because they replaced it on my warranty.
Oh.
Well, then let's see.
What about holding it up to one of those old VHS magnet erasers?
Just microwave. Put it in the microwave for a little while.
I've got my big magnet right here, that magnet that's supposed to hold your Glock.
Yeah, those aren't strong enough. You need an electromagnet for that.
Because I don't
go to the junkyard.
I don't
microwave.
use this one because I used to stick my carry gun right here when I carried a Glock. I used to stick it right here because I got mounted on my desk. But I quit doing that because I got tired of then taking my gun off and sitting it down on the tabletop and the
put it in the freezer.
Paper clips sliding across the table to stick to my gun.
Maybe if you deep froze it or something, put it on a block of dry ice for a while.
Because it magnetizes your fucking gun. I'm like, I don't want my gun being a magnet.
That's crazy.
I don't want my firing pin magnetized.
Drop a magnetized gun at the range, like in the gravel or dirt or whatever once, and you'll see how many little metal filings there are around a range.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like one of those old things where you would draw mustaches and beards on that guy with the little stick. It looks like that when you pick it up off the ground at a range when it's all magnetized.
Yeah, what was his name? Harry something, or something Harry.
Something like that. And then couldn't you turn his face upside down or the other way? Like up one way or the other, and it still worked?
I think there was one like that, but I don't think all of them were like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to play with that for hours. He'd put his little beard on, his little mustache on, with the little metal shavings and the little stick with a magnet on it. That was fun when you were a kid. That was our computers when we were kids.
Yeah, that was our PDAs. It was much easier than Etch-a-Sketch.
Scribble. What was the Scribble Doodle or whatever the fuck it was?
Sketch.
Etch a Sketch. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That was
Sketch, yeah.
high tech.
That damn thing because you could never do a circle.
Nope.
My dad bought me a viewfinder, and that thing was like mind-blowingly fucking awesome. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
3D viewfinder of like awesome movies and shit too. I wish I had that. I bet you that shit would be worth so much money, dude.
Spider-Man ones.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I had Star Wars and shit. I'm sure that shit is worth so much money at this point. Mint condition shit like that.
Mint condition shit. Okay.
There you go.
Anything Star Wars is always worth more than you paid.
No, I mean, dude, people are selling alien action figures for like hundreds of dollars on eBay.
Yeah, that's Alien.
Well, stuff that you enjoyed as a kid is, and you're basically middle-aged like we are. It's popular now. People are buying that stuff up because they want to relive their childhood.
I was about to
Yeah,
say
right,
all the
right,
80s
right.
cars are getting super popular, I'm noticing.
Well, I'm thinking, too, some people are buying this stuff to give to their kids now. Like, I like this, you're going to like it, too.
That's possible. You know, that's always
Better go
possible.
buy a Nintendo Super 64.
Ha,
Yeah,
go
I
buy an
tried
NES.
playing with Wii today, that video game kind of system. I thought those things could go on the internet.
Yeah, no, all your modern consoles are connected to the internet.
How do you get it to go to the internet? If I go back over there, how do I get it to go to the internet?
Wi-Fi. All the new ones are
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi.
or LAN.
Where was Wi-Fi? I looked at in all the menus I could find.
What are you using? What are you using?
There's a red thing. It looked red.
No. What's your console?
There's a Wii. It looked red. I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
the Wii should be. Oh, maybe not. The Wii, no. The Wii is a cable.
Yeah, the
The
Wii
Wii
you
is
have
a-
to do LAN with, so you have to run a cable from your modem to your Wii.
Oh, okay. And then
I-
isn't cable TV internet, or is that something
No.
separate? Oh, I thought cable
So
TV was
there's
internet.
DSL is what you are going to have to run from your box to the thing.
Yeah, no. Like when you get your cable box where you change the channel, your remote has to hit that. That's
I don't
your
think they
cable
have
box.
that. I think it just
And then-
goes from the cable to the TV. I don't
There's
think
some place that there's a splitter, usually from the wall. It'll split the signal from like one coaxial cable will go to your box, your television box, and then the other one will go to your cable modem. And then some of them they don't have the box maybe, so it could go straight to their cable-ready TV or whatever the fuck.
That's what I think they have as a cable-ready TV, because I don't see a box. They only have a DVD player, I think, and that Wii, and then the TV.
Well, they might have like the AT&T U-verse. Like there's a new thing where the
No,
cable
that's-
box. Okay.
Comcast?
Okay, yeah, that's what I got. So, yeah, you have to have a box, or the cable modem is separate.
I didn't look really hard. I thought that you guys had said that you can get a Wii to go on the internet, so I was going to try to show
Oh,
them
I know you can.
stuff online, but I couldn't get
Yeah,
it.
the Wii is old school. Like the Wii is like 8 years, 10 years old at this point, right? The Wii
That's
came out.
crazy.
I was still in New York, so like
Is there
the
only
Wii was
one
like
Wii, not like the Wii 6 or something?
No, it's
You
still
guys
just
are
called the
techno
Wii.
nerding me out, man.
Oh no,
yeah,
not
the
yet.
Wii is old.
No, man.
Anyway, like
NES
even the
is
PlayStation 2 went on. Like no, maybe not the 2, but the PlayStation 3 went online with the cable. It was all cable stuff.
Let me ask you another Wii question. There's those two remote control thingies, and one of them I
Nunchucks.
figured out was like a mouse kind of, but it's got little lights at the bottom from left to right, like 5 little lights, I think. Is that
Oh.
battery indicator?
No. Okay, you're talking. There's 4 lights at the bottom, right? Or is it 5? Because I think it's.
But it was
how
only
many
one
you
lit,
have
and it
linked.
worked in like shit. So I thought maybe it was a battery indicator.
I think it's either your battery or if it's telling you how many are linked to the console. Like, say you have 4 linked, and it'll be like there's 1 linked on the far left. That's number 1, and then like
Oh,
they're
for
corresponding.
playing a
Like
game.
you have controller 1, you have controller 2, you have 3, you have 4. The lights will tell you which one you have.
Okay, so it would be like, because this only had the one, it would be like maybe in the 3rd position if it was the 1 out of 4 controllers
Yep,
or whatever.
exactly.
Okay,
If it's
okay.
what I'm thinking of, or it could be your battery, but that doesn't.
Well, it's just that it didn't work as a mouse or whatever until I was like standing in front of the red thing. So I figured it wasn't working from the other side of the room where they told me it should be able to.
Okay.
I only played Wii one. Like my ex-girlfriend had a Wii, and it was a long time ago. So
Yeah,
I
all
don't
my
know.
experience is pretty.
Are
much
they
that
any
box.
good for like people say to make them to make you exercise or whatever? Do you
Yeah.
wiggle around or
Oh
something?
hell yeah, they
Oh
can
yeah,
be.
yeah. Oh yeah. Because that was one of their selling points. Was like Wii Sports.
Well, it was.
a
I
game.
remember when they came out. It was. It was like now everybody
Baseball,
in the whole
tennis.
family can have fun in the house and exercise in the house. And I was like,
You know what's funny is that there was like lawsuits because people were breaking their fucking television. They were playing tennis and boxing and shit.
shots. They didn't realize they weren't secured.
Exactly. They were fucking throwing the remote and breaking their television and being like, "What the fuck? I'm gonna sue Nintendo." Like, fuck Nintendo, don't give a fuck about your TV.
All right. Long time no see.
Okay, so who has an opinion on the Indonesian firing squad executions?
I know nothing.
I heard a little
I'm
bit
okay
about
with
it
it.
today, but I don't know. Bali, right?
I know nothing.
Jakarta, I thought it was, Indonesia. They executed 9 drug dealers, and 2 of them were Australian. Or not drug dealers, drug smugglers. 2 of
So
them
they
were
fucking killed
Australian.
them. Non-violent
squad.
drug dealers. Or drug smugglers.
Drug smugglers, yeah.
Were they actually non-violent?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you don't know
probably.
that.
They're just trying to get the drug in their asshole, and then they're trying to
Somebody
take a
forced
flight
up there.
over somewhere else. That's usually how it works. They swallow the drugs or they shove it up their butt. So
Everyone's got to make money somehow. Some people just choose that.
To
It
Indonesia.
was probably, the drugs are probably cut with beef.
Well, we know this, that like some of those
What?
countries over there, I mean, they're very strict, and you know what you're getting
country
into.
is
I'm
this?
pretty.
Some
I think it's
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
I don't like
Okay.
the Asian drugs because they put the MSG in them, so you want more all the time.
There you go.
Sound like a
I would.
Yeah,
professional user
Indonesia's
here.
been getting into
Oh,
trouble.
I
'cause
thought you said India.
they're
Yeah,
also
I
in
thought you
trouble
said
with the
India.
European Football League because they're getting banned by the European Union. They're not gonna let them play
Drugs?
No, football.
Okay.
Wait, they
Because of
they have a
drugs.
firing squad for a bunch of football players?
No, what happened was there was some controversy over some rules or something, and so FIFA is pulling out of Indonesia completely. And,
that's probably a big deal.
Indonesia, they're banning Indonesia from having a national team,
That's insane.
and yeah, they're pulling out completely in Indonesia. So we're going to have our own team and our own league. And so, well, nobody's going to play you. And
How many billions of people live there?
a lot, yeah.
They can have their own sport, and nobody would even know what it is. Like, they was a square ball somehow, and they have 4.
And anyway, with regard to the 9 people that got executed today, Australia withdrew their ambassador, and one of the people in the Indonesian parliament in Jakarta said, "Well, we should just let all the immigrants go through to Australia because they're like a stop point, waypoint for people
They're
trying to
dumping
get
ground
to
for the world."
Australia. They go from Asia through Indonesia to Australia. And so they go, well, we should just let them all through instead of stopping them.
No risk, no reward, right? I mean, they knew the risk, and I'm sure they knew what country they were dealing with. And
As a general rule, breaking the law in a Muslim country is a bad idea.
Indonesia is Muslim?
Heavily.
I did not know this.
So there's Hindus,
I thought they were
there's
Catholic.
Hindus and there's
Yeah,
Muslims,
same.
but it's mostly, I think it is mostly Muslim, but it's also Hindu.
it's like Malaysia
Wasn't
too.
it
is another
mostly
one, right?
Catholic for a long time?
No, Malaysia's the one I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, and then Indonesia, I don't know, but I know Malaysia is pretty strict, and wouldn't
Well,
do
China
nothing over
used to have very strict drug laws. They used to
they
take
kill
all
you.
the drug users and execute them in mass in football stadiums or sports stadiums with the 22 to the back of the head.
Because
China.
that makes sense.
But they had a different it's anti-patriotic to use drugs in China. I mean, because of the whole British drug war.
Yeah, the opium war.
According to the CIA, According to the
China, they have a
CIA,
different history.
Indonesia is 87% Muslim, 7% Christian, 3% Catholic,
Holy crap.
2% Hindu, and then 0.9% other. So quite heavily Muslim.
I did not know this. Thank you.
Their population is 253 million people.
Yeah, so
And
like,
they're
you
pretty
remember back in the
close to us
day,
in
you might have heard
population.
like
That's
chop the
almost as
hands
much.
off a thief. Like those people
That's Saudi
actually
Arabia.
chop the hands off a thief. So if you go there and try to smuggle drugs out of a place that like might cut your hands off for stealing a fucking apple or something like
will.
that, yeah. So then why would you do that? I
They
don't
have
know.
54 million
You gotta make money.
of between 25 and 54, and 52 million females between 25 and 54. That's 40% of their population is between 25 and 54. That's a really healthy
You
population.
need a drug, drug smugglers, come on. Use your brains. There's other places to go. besides.
Just go to Los Angeles.
It's a waypoint in between, also not just for immigrants to Australia, it's a waypoint for drugs to Australia over, I mean, obviously it's on the way from Asia to Australia. So, that's why they got caught, because it's on the way. So.
Oh, you mean it was like they had a layover or some shit?
Yeah, well, it was something like that. I don't know the details of the case. I only know that they all sentenced them to all 9 people to death by firing squad, and they've been, for the last month, Australia's been jumping up and down about it. So
respect us. Don't kill our people. Oh, you killed them? All right, cool.
Right.
I'll bet you the Indonesians are only negotiating with the Australians as to how much cash they'll pay to not get executed.
Well, they're all dead now, so.
Well, they are dead now? Okay, never mind. I didn't hear the story.
They shot him today.
It's in the side link.
Okay. Well, I can't really see the side link. I'm on my iPhone, but...
I don't know about iPhones, but I was playing with the iPad, and you just, when you're in the main one, you just move your finger from the left to the right, and it brings you to that other page, and then all the comments and everything are right there.
Well,
isn't it like that on the phone too?
It might be, but it's been so long since I've been on a Hangout chat that I'm almost, I'm trying to figure out how I do everything on my phone again.
Yeah, and plus I'm sure it changes every 6 months or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it does. Hopefully by next week I'll have my desktop computer all set up and my internet taken care of again, so...
Right on. Good to see you back in the chat.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I spent a year actually doing work.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in a while.
That's a lot of overtime.
I haven't seen you in a while, Eric. How have you been, man?
Oh, I've been doing great. I spent a year driving truck long haul over the road, and
hey, thanks for doing that, man.
That's cool. Where'd you do that at?
Well, my company was based out of Portland. Well, the company itself is based out of Wisconsin, but the division I work for was based out of Portland, Oregon. I did a lot of freight down I-5 to Los Angeles.
I want to correct you there.
I knew it.
It's actually based in Florida. The Florida office is just this little trailer with one person working in it, but the rest of the business is in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my company has a huge corporate headquarters in Green Bay. Or my previous company. After I worked there for a year, I got tired of going down to California all the time. Got a local job delivering vegetables from a produce wholesaler in Seattle, so now I'm back at home and working daily.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, and I hope you made the best possible choice.
Oh, I think I did. I'm getting paid a lot more money to do local than I got paid to do long haul, and I get to work overtime for time and a half, and I'm
nice.
And I'm making plenty of money. I get like 10 hours of overtime every week, so...
Now, I got a question for you. When you do over the road, what certifications do you need, or will you be trained on all of them? 'Cause I've always...
Well, I had a Class A CDL.
Before you got into that even?
Before I got into that. I got it by myself. There are some companies that will put you through a training program to get them. I don't recommend doing that because usually they make you sign your life away. Because, here's what, there's a company called Swift, and they will do CDLs for people who never had them, but you'll sign a contract to work with them for 2 years, and if you quit early, you'll have to pay the balance of your CDL training, and then they'll say...
more than you could have done on your own.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll charge you like $6,000 for it when you could have gotten a CDL for like $3,500 from a private school,
Those private schools, they rent you all the trucks, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got to buy your own semi. That's the tough part.
No, well, they got the semi.
I was like, well, shit, if you got to do that, I have no interest.
No, just I would see where what CDL schools are in your area and give them a call. A lot of community and technical colleges have CDL programs as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I went through a tech school and there was nothing like. Huh.
Well, you'll just have to see your area. Like where I live in Washington State, I can think of at least 4 state colleges that have CDL schools on them.
Learn that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, and so then also there's endorsements that go on a CDL. Like if you're working for an employer that holds more than one trailer at a time, you have to get a doubles endorsement on your license. And there's another endorsement for hazardous materials, another endorsement for liquid tankers.
So what do you mean holds more than one trailer at a time?
Well, some trucks, they set it up to where they pull 2 shorter trailers instead of a long one.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You
I thought you were talking about like
mainly
an
see
HQ. I was like, what do you mean they're only
Yeah.
holding one trailer?
Yeah. Yeah, like FedEx and UPS will do that a lot. They'll have 2
Yeah,
trailers and that stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen that around Montana and stuff like that, where they have 3 trailers.
Yep, I've seen that stuff all the time here, actually.
Yeah. Well, the 3 trailers is interesting because, like, the state I live in, they're illegal, but in
Terrible.
Oregon and in Montana and Idaho, I see a lot of 3-trailered, triple trailer trucks.
My uncle owns a trucking company back home, and that's all he does. Is our state it's illegal to have double or triple trailers in, so he will meet guys at one side of the state, haul all their trailers to the other side of the state, and then they go back on their way. That's all he did.
Right on. That's a good business niche right there.
He ended up with
Yeah.
like 15 employees doing it, so he ended up doing pretty good doing it.
Well, that's
Good.
preferable when you get like that, because if you find a niche in the industry, like anyone can buy a 53-foot van trailer and a truck, but if you find a good niche like that, you always stay working.
Every market, just find your niche.
You know, like I went from doing dry van general freight, and now I just haul produce in refrigerated trailers, and I deliver
you do the
to
reefers.
Yep, I do reefers, and I deliver to grocery stores and restaurants and that type of stuff. And it's great because it's more physically active work, so I've actually been losing weight.
Oh,
and
yeah,
getting
you got to do the
healthier and
pallets and stuff sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, but they give us an electric pallet jack in the trailer, so it's
son of
not
a
as
bitch.
bad.
See, when I unloaded at Walmart, right, since I was the biggest, strongest dude, they're just like, all right, you can do the reefer trailer all by yourself. And I got the fucking janky-ass pallet jack that didn't work half the time that would always fall. So it's like, don't worry, you got this. Then I'd watch the one guy, like, with the electric jack just sit there like, nah, I think you'll do this fine.
So you had a pump jack?
Because the Walmart didn't see fit to authorize me.
To walk fast enough to keep up with that, Jack.
I wasn't authorizable to do an electronic forklift. They didn't think I was good enough. Which is funny.
No, it makes sense.
Well, hey man, Walmart knows best, of course.
Walmart's kind of a crappy outfit to work for.
Yes, they are. I will agree with you there.
With the
Yeah, they're actually
section-
hiring in my town right now, and they're
trap.
trying to get people for $10.25 an hour.
What?
They're hiring?
Yep. Yeah, $10.25 an hour for an overnight shift.
What?
It's your life's call and go.
But you know,
If you work during the day, it's $9 an hour. If you work nights, it's $10.25. That's starting.
Nights at mine, it was $8.80.
You got to remember what state he's in. If they figure that if you're still living in that state, you have exhausted all other options in your life. And you've got to
There's not any worse states.
I tried to do I tried to get a
No, he's
second
right.
job at the Walmart. I tried to get a second job at the Walmart once, so.
Yeah.
You know what's ironic is the most money I ever made working for my previous employer was a Walmart contract.
Oh, hell yeah. They pay big because they move a lot fast.
Because just before Thanksgiving, a year or so ago, the Walmart said, oh, we don't have enough trucks to move trailers to deliver to our stores. And
Yeah.
I was, at the time, I was laying over in Northern California, and so my supervisor called and said, hey, you want to drive on down to Porterville, which is a town in California near Bakersfield. And they said, oh, you want to drive on down to Porterville and do Walmart contracts? I'm like, well, what's the difference between what I'm doing now? You'll pull Walmart trailers and we'll pay you $250 a day if you work more than 4 hours in the day. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, fucking A. Absolutely.
I did
Where do I back
5
up?
days. I did 5 days of work, and I did 5 days of work and got like $1,200.
See,
yeah.
I'm really interested in doing over the road because right now doing gunsmithing, it's kind of hit or miss.
Now,
Honestly,
where do you
I'm very
live?
Minnesota. I'm disappointed and almost disingenuous with it.
Okay. In Minnesota, do you live in like the Minneapolis metro area, or do you
Just
live
north
in
of it,
some rural?
like
Well,
not
I would look at
even 40 minutes north of the Twin Cities. So
I would I would look at this then. I would see if there's any local outfits that would hire you, because
yeah, that's what,
I did over the road for a year, and I can tell you this is how the industry works. You'll get your CDL, and if you hire on with an over the road carrier, most of those carriers, the big ones that'll hire you with no experience, you're going to get paid crappy, like 28 cents a mile, which is pretty crappy. You'll get with an outfit that doesn't pay you when they take 10 hours to load you. You know, you're only paid by the mile. There's a lot of, like my previous employer, there was some good things about working there, but overall the pay was not there. And I literally stayed there until I clicked 12 months and check off a box for a new employer that said I had a year of experience, and now I'm working hourly.
huh.
And so
they
you know,
pay
I
you by
will.
the mile. They don't have to pay you by the hour. Or wait,
No,
how
they
does it
don't.
work?
In
Because I've
fact,
always wondered.
that industry. Okay, well,
Oh, I
just
get
well,
it.
realized I
well.
spelled gorilla
Let
wrong on
me
last
explain.
night's chat.
Let me explain this briefly. They will decide, like, when they get a run, like, they get to pull, I don't know, a load of watermelons from XYZ warehouse in, I don't know, Louisiana to maybe back up home to Minneapolis. Well, they're going to calculate the approximate number of miles, and you're going to get paid for that dispatch based off of the miles they think it should take you to drive. So if it's 1,000 miles, you'll get paid for 1,000 miles, and at 28 cents a mile, that'll be
Making $280?
yeah, but you can do that run in 2 days, so it's about
That's
140 a day.
yeah.
You see, and the other thing too is that these days a lot of the big carriers have speed governors on the trucks, so you
Yep.
can't drive any faster than 60 miles an hour, which, and you'll see the
I've
guys
noticed
who
that
own their,
shit too. I've always wondered.
because you'll see like the guys who own their own trucks, and in states like Utah and stuff where there's no split limit for trucks and cars, those Utah guys will just be hauling ass, you know, everywhere. They'll be 80 miles an hour, and they make a lot of money doing that because they, you know, drive 800 miles in a day. And there's the other thing, by the way, is you're not allowed to drive more than a certain number of hours in a day.
What regulates that? Is that federal, state, or your business,
That's a
or
federal.
what?
It's a federal thing. It's all federal.
Okay.
And because there's 3 rules. One of them is you can't drive more than 70 hours in an 8-day period.
What?
One of them is, yeah, and one of them is that you cannot drive more than 11 hours in a day. But the kicker is there's a third rule that says that once you start your day, first go on duty by pre-tripping your truck, you now have 14 hours to do that 11 hours of driving. So if you sit at a warehouse for 6 hours, then you can't drive the full 11. And there's a lot of crappy shippers that'll keep you around. Like, I once spent 11 hours at the Budweiser plant in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's, you know.
So it's not really as like
Free
simple.
Budweiser.
It's not as simple as you're the driver, get to this place, they will have your product, return it here on time.
I'll put it.
Like there's a lot
well,
of shit that goes into it, right?
Well, yeah, it's actually very simple once you know all the rules. But like I said, there's a lot of, and if you're gonna do over the road, I would recommend you start with my former employer, which was Schneider National Carriers. They're the orange trucks. But and here's the thing, they're gonna pay you crappy wages, but at least they don't treat you like shit. They'll treat you somewhat decently, so it helps get through that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big thing. I've worked for some people that paid decent, and I was like, no, fuck y'all. Can't take this.
Hey.
Yeah, but
And help pay the Green Bay employees.
Say again? What'd you ask?
I said that helps pay the Green Bay employees.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it does. But anyway, so yeah, so
One of the big,
but
yeah,
I
they're
recommend But I would recommend getting into trucking though if you're a hard worker, because usually the thing is that once you have a year of experience, jobs will usually fall right into your lap once you got enough experience. You can always usually find a job after then. So
it's really just the first
like
year of hanging in tough seems like the hardest part.
yeah, you might spend a year or two, just making, and then once you got your year in, you kind of just start applying and see who, because once I had my year in, I applied at 5 different places and got job interviews at all of them. I actually turned down jobs because I realized I was getting so many positive responses back that I could be pickier about who I worked for, so I kind of waited for the right gig to fall in, so.
I don't want to turn this into an over-the-road question chat, but
I'll take one more.
I mean, it truly has always intrigued me. My neighbor did it for 35 years for U.S. Foods. Retired. He's got a nice-ass house. He buys only the nicest possible stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a damn good life. And
oh, yeah.
he has seen a lot of shit that I wish I could get the experience of.
Oh, it was great. I went and saw most of the western half of the country, I've now been to more places in California than probably people who live in California have.
Right? Seeing that, I love just travel. I know it's a different type of travel than leisure. It's very you got to get here on time, and you got to worry about traffic and working around that and work through that.
It was pretty decent though, because occasionally you'll run out of hours and you have to take a 34-hour break to reset your hours. And when I had to do that, I could usually find a truck stop in a decent part of the country, and take the break and then go see town. I spent one of those breaks in a company facility in Los Angeles. I got to go to Disneyland and then see downtown LA. Spent one of those breaks in Reno, another one in Portland, Oregon, and I got to